Welcome to the Bob and Tam show tonight.
Hello.
Da, 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 da. Didn't put no
Have any
music on.
music on? He's out here in his little studio and he doesn't have any music on.
What button?
Yep. Looking for my volume. Up. How was everybody's Sunday? Chat's there. No, I don't show any live chats on. They can see us. So there's Trixie Blue. She says, happy birthday. Thank you. Anna says, happy birthday. Hope you had a blessed and beautiful day. I did. Got a lot of phone calls and a lot of texts and a lot of messages on Facebook. And we went out to lunch, Outback, and had a nice lunch. Thank you, Janice. Robert says, happy birthday, Tam. Be safe, guys. We're home, so we're pretty safe. I guess you never know. Can't be too safe any place you go, I'm assuming. You never know with this day and age in the world what's going to happen. Mike's on. He's from Minnesota. USA. On. Birthday. Thank you, Anthony. Oh, I'm assuming everybody's made it home from Sturgis that went to Sturgis by now. Oops. Bird glider. Birthday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All for the birthday wish. Tim says in Northwest Washington it's been wet. It hasn't rained since March. And bikers are thinking about the rain. Amazing. I know, it's crazy. We had a microburst, I guess, the other night. I don't know. Thanks, Bob and Dee. Eat all my pie. It was really good. Was it a microburst, they said? I don't know. That's what our...
We had a little bit of wind. It was about 1:30. It's almost like Sturgis rain. About 1:30, lasted about 10 or 15 minutes. Poured pretty hard. The wind was blowing pretty good. Had some lightning. And it's all good.
How you doing? Are you going to Ocean City, Griff? I think that's where we've seen you last. Birdie, birthday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, says, hello, Pating Nation, and happy birthday, Tam. Art. Laugh out loud. All right, caught up. Did you put it on all your little things?
So, we're going to talk a little bit tonight about Sturgis, a little bit about the next coming up rallies that we're going to be. You can ask any questions between now and then. Got a couple videos already in the queue. On Monday, we got a video on, I showed off a series on the Full Throttle Salute. From the time we got there, June, all the way through the concert, kind of showed you what all they had done. We also, Ballard talked twice to us. The first one, you guys heard a little bit of that. And the last one, you did not hear of that before we left. So you might want to check that video out. Tuesday's video, is about Biktoberfest.
Says your mic is off.
Oh, it's not.
Maybe just because he wasn't talking. Is that what you're trying to say?
Check.
Going through mind? Sound is all messed up.
All right. Check. 1, 2, check.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I think I had the echo on there. Hopefully that sounds all right now.
Sounds like a monster. Oh, geez.
It was probably the echo that was on. Hitting too many buttons
Bob's
there.
voice is jacked up. Okay, I think we got it fixed now.
So talk a little bit about that. Some of the things that I see, we're going to talk a little bit about Facebook tonight. Some of the Sturgis pages, some of the stuff that people write. I'm not sure if there really is people that actually go to the rally and they make all these complaints, or if it's people that just jump on board and just want to complain a lot. I had a guy tonight that was actually going back and forth with. He's been going to the rallies since the 72 or something was the first time he went. He has to be pretty old. And was talking about how it is today, and he still goes all the time. and complained about everything. And I'm like, why do you go? Oh, it's in my blood, he said. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Why would you complain about something so bad? You know, it's like us. We're not big Disneyland people. We're not big amusement park people at all. So we don't really go to amusement parks anymore because they're not that fun anymore for us older people. And we just don't enjoy that. Now, you might, and that'd be great for you, but everybody's got their own niche. So, hey, whatever you do. But I mean, I don't normally go and do something that I already know ahead of time. I don't like it. I don't like what's going on. Don't like what the deal is, but I go anyway because I just want to go. It doesn't make really any sense. So I don't know if there's just a lot of complainers and they just want to balk.
Right.
Seems like luckily our Sturgis YouTube page, we don't have as much as that other one that's over there. They must be not really watching what's being put on there to where these people just constantly go on and on. You know, everything from the people pulling trailers to people riding trikes or people riding a side by side or whatever the hell they do. Who cares? And it's like I wrote this guy. I said, you know, the rally is. I don't care if you've been around for 87 years and you went to the very first one. Good for you. And yes, times change. Everything is different today. I bet you live in a lot different house than what you grew up in if you've been around since 87.
People are still saying it sounds fun. That sounds all right to me.
They might be getting delayed from what they comments. But it's you know, that's like I say, that's my whole thing that I say is it's all about what you make of the rally. Oh, yes, you can go down there and you're paying $12.50 for a beer. Are you that stupid that you want to pay $12.50 for a beer? Or you can afford it and it doesn't matter to me. That would be a good point. But I don't go anywhere. We didn't go anywhere really that I didn't like what I was paying. Now, sometimes that does happen. You know, it's kind of like when you go to some place and the price isn't marked on the object and you want to go up to the counter and you ask. You know, there's always that old saying is if the price isn't listed, you may not want to know what the price is. Probably one of the.
We do that a lot. If we go into any place and there's not a price on anything, if it doesn't have a price on it, you can't afford to buy it. That's what our motto
We
is.
even went to a Goodwill store. I don't even know where it was at. If it was Panama City, I don't know where. And she found a pair of jeans. Didn't have a price tag on it. They looked pretty good shape. They were almost like new. So we went up to the counter. Well, I Googled it already. And they were like, I don't know, 30 or 40 bucks.
Brand new.
$50 brand new. And they wanted like $40 for them. And I'm like, I showed it to the lady and I said, you're looking at brand new prices. You're not looking. She goes, oh, well, they mark.
That's a name brand.
I'm like, no, it's not. You know, that's not $100 pair of jeans. I said, so she had to get a manager up there and they end up knocking it down to $10 or $15, which was reasonable. Because you're buying something used, you're not expecting to pay a retail price for something.
Okay. Listener, hi. I don't know what you're saying, but thanks for watching.
And but yeah, it's just very, you know, about all this stuff. And it's like, I guess there's people that go to Sturgis and I don't know if they just go to a bar and they sit there the whole time and get drunk and then that's why they complain all the time. But I mean, definitely there's things you don't like. Like, let's say you went to Glencoe this year and you wanted to get there a week early and now they're charging you for it. Okay, well, then that'd be something to get upset about. And a lot of people say, well, it's been in your contract. Well, you know, I've been going, we haven't, but we have a friend that's been going for 13 years. For 13 years, they let him in for free and didn't charge him anything to be in the boondocking area. It's not like it's costing him anything. A lot of the stuff's not even open yet, but it's those people down there on Titty Road down there, they want to have some fun and they just get there early. And so this year they charge. So I would, if I was that person and I know him and I know he was upset and he contacted me because he had heard it on the internet if it was happening. We were already there. Well, by the time before we ever got to the front desk or to the front drive up there, we already got an answer from Glencoe on their Facebook page. And they said, yes, $25 per person for dry camping per day and $50 for full hookups. And it's because we had to turn everything on. I don't know what I know in the past, this gentleman and his wife that go, that the power, you know, they were in the boondocking area. Sometimes the water's on, sometimes it's not.
And that's pretty much all they use is just the water if they're there.
Because there's no electricity for the boondocking area. Dry camping and you can
hook Sherry.
Up. But I mean, he comes with a load of water, so he doesn't really need it that first week anyway. So, but that's my point is there's something that they changed right before the rally, within a week or so of the rally. They came up with this, they changed this idea. Okay, now we are going to charge. So yes, it was in the contract, but who reads your contract and they haven't charged for 13 plus years. So, you know, there's an excuse. we also had kickstands. They charged to get in during the main part of the rally. They charged, I think they started charging on Thursday, and I think they quit on Thursday. But it was like $30 a night to get in there if you weren't a camper there. Which we had an event with Boss Hoss, and I think they were paying for the event to be there, and they only got like so many tickets, and that's it.
They bought like 15 because they knew like 5 or 6 for sure were coming, and they bought a few extra for their employees themselves. And then in case there was another person there or 2 that wanted to come, and they said they had 2 left if we wanted to come. But that was another day. There was a lot of stuff going on, and we said, no, we're good. And they said they had somebody there to film it. So we were all good with that.
But I mean, that's just some of the things that have changed that you might not necessarily, because last year they didn't. You went to a lot of the concert stuff. We don't know what's going on. We've also heard rumors that kickstands, that somebody's looking at buying it. I don't know. Once again,
Actually,
we call
the year
that.
before we heard that they bought it.
This year they actually said so. Well, somebody said somebody did buy it last year, but this year there's talk that somebody's very interested in buying it. Negotiations were going on. So I don't know if possibly they tried to start charging to make it look like we've got more money coming in. I don't know. We never did get to talk to Joey over there. Every time we came in, he was busy. A couple nights that people were there, I said, if you see him, let him know we're looking for him. They said during some of the concerts, he was nowhere to be found. So I don't know what's going on there. I know they're closed right now to August 29th. I seen it on his Facebook page. Sometimes a lot of places like that close after the rally for a period of time.
A week or so.
We had somebody last weekend. That's what they said. They went down to the bars. And a lot of the bars were closed up that they went out and rode to. And that's not uncommon because everybody's been working so many hours. And a lot of these places work 12 or 15-hour shifts, and they have to work all that time. And so after you've worked 10 days or 15 days, depending on how long they've been doing all of it, they're ready to go home. So that's somebody wrote that on one of our comments today. I don't know if they're on there to YouTube, and said that if you guys should stay longer. Well, we did a couple years ago, probably about 3 years ago. We stayed almost to the end of August because we were there during hot August nights, but I
think we ended up leaving on the 1st.
I think we ended up going back to Rapid City and stayed a week. And so when they had hot August nights, I wasn't going to drive the motorcycle all that way in the dark coming back. And of course, trying to get a parking spot for the truck anywhere down there in Deadwood during any kind of event is almost impossible.
Next to impossible.
Yeah, we really can't get in the garage with the truck.
Glad you made it back before the hail did, Bruce. That he just got rolled back into Deadwood and got into the hotel parking garage seconds before the hail hit. So they must have got hail tonight.
Now, they've been getting some rain. I think Wednesday they should look like people had raincoats on for the Music on Main Street that started back up this week. So, and then I seen another one come through that there was supposed to be a bad storm. They were predicting hail. But I mean, every time they have a storm, they predict hail, rain. The whole time we were out there for 9 weeks, they predicted rain just about every day.
So Brianna said they got their 1,000-mile coin the other day from riding those challenge coins that Harley Davidson given out.
And we should have done it. We rode about, I didn't look at it again. I'm somewhere between 15 and 1,800 miles we rode on the motorcycle. So I'm down compared to what we normally do. We usually do about 2,500, but we ended up
Rome.
The first couple of weeks we were there in Rapid. They kept predicting rain, bad storms, and we had to go in the Sturgis several times. So we thought, let's just take the truck, and do it. And of course, it never rained.
Like 3 days we did that for
More
sure.
than 3.
I know, but
through 5 tanks of gas.
We were driving around.
$100 a pop. What up?
No, not yet. Oh, I guess Chip knows. Bruce, I guess. I hate riding at night. Yeah, I guess when we all get older, our eyes don't get they're not as well.
Well, just the animals. A lot of people hit deers, and there's just a lot of different animals out there. One of our subscribers hit a deer. They kept it up, but it bent his crash bar. So yeah, it is out there.
I don't know.
We're hearing possibly 6 people died during the Sturgis rally. There's one that did on Thursday, but I got to look at the time. They were originally saying 7, but the date on it was Thursday, the day before the rally started, the 31st. So that one really wouldn't count because they only count the 10 days of the actual rally. We're going to go over that. We're going to talk about that in another video. It's a lot easier for us to sit down and read this stuff and put it on a board to where we can read it off to you instead of trying to look at a paper and trying to do it live. It's a little tougher. The city's talking over 500,000 people came. That didn't happen. And They always do that. But when you look at the actual numbers of per day, you're looking somewhere between 20 and 36,000 cars that ran over the rubber bands. And I've got to find that they actually had a listing showing you the rubber bands they had. Well, we pretty much run over most of those at least a dozen times every single day because we're riding back and forth in all those different areas that they have the rubber bands at. So I don't know. Once again, you can't predict that. But just to give you a little bit of insight of what we got this year compared to what we've seen over all the years that we've been going to rally. I think we started going probably around the 71st, I think was the first rally we'd ever gone to. Well, we've been to the last 7 in a row. This year was the most oddest year I've ever seen for people participating in the rally. You might say, why? What do you mean by that? Well, what we mean by that is we noticed right away. Now, one, we did go out with 3 different groups, and some of you might have rode with us more than once. That we went out on several different rides. A couple of them down to the chicken place,
Thanks, Chris.
one all the way out to Devil's Tower, and what we seen more than I've ever seen at any rally ever in the United States. That we've covered 21 different rallies around the United States. I've never seen so many bikes actually riding daily. I would say on the average time, like we were on the 385 down by Hill City, probably seen 300 bikes and within a couple of miles that were coming the opposite direction. And it's like that everywhere. When we were coming down in that fog from Deadwood, there was probably, just in that fog, there was probably at least 100 that passed it. And so we seen that. So that's one indication that I wanted to talk about. The second thing is, if you watch any of our videos on Main Street, you watch anybody's videos on Main Street, there's not
how are you guys doing?
Steady flow of bikes ever. And that's the first time ever I've seen that, because normally I can stand out there with the camera and I just turn it on and one right after another, right after another, right after.
Just said he heard 12 passed away.
Well, they could be counting. Yeah, also some people will count deaths that had nothing to do with Sturgis area. Like, let's say some guy was coming in from New York and he got on the border of New York and got killed. Well, that did happen on the way to the rally, but it's not a count that they would take during this time. So the most I've heard out of everything that I've looked up from the state and everything else is that 7. But once again, they're talking about Thursday the 31st, which would not count for the Sturgis count. Because they're mainly only looking at the Meade County. They're looking at the state
Always
count
ready to ride.
and the city count. Those are the 3 counts that they're looking for accidents. And we're going to go through that. We got the final papers. They sent them to me a couple days ago. I wrote the city and said, I never got my numbers. And so they sent them all over to us. So we got them all. Just haven't got that far yet. I got about 6 more videos we've got to get done that are still there. I got to do the one on for veterans for a cabin. If you'd ever
I was going to ask if you did that one yet.
I haven't got to that one yet. We got one for
that one
Camp
ride
Easy ride. We got another one. Yeah, that one there for a ride that we did that we never got to show you, a new ride that we went on. Wasn't sure about it at first, but after I wrote it, it was a pretty good ride. And we'll talk about that. And some of you may have wrote it, and some of you be like us, never made that right turn, always went to the left. And so that was kind of cool, did that. And so there's some other things that we've got to cover that I haven't got to yet. So we got a bunch of stuff going on. This next weekend, we've got to go see our daughter, got to go to the doctors and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be a little, I don't know if we're going to have a live next Sunday or not. I don't know what we'll do.
Yeah. So Joe asked if the Sugar Shack was open all year round, and somebody else said they went out there on the 13th and it was not open in the afternoon. But sometimes after rally, they'll take a few days off. I just looked it up and it said the Sugar Shack in Deadwood, South Dakota is open all year round.
And it's very possible that they gave everybody a couple days off. And like I say, that's what I said before. That's one of the reasons I don't like to stay after the rally.
There's not a whole lot going on.
So many places are just giving their employees a break and say, hey, you step back. And, and some of the places, just like that, some of the restaurants and stuff have to regroup because they have to order food. They ran out of stuff. They didn't estimate. Because a lot of times like that, when it comes down to the week of the rally, they pre-order the food the week before. That's why they all have smaller menus. People complain about that all the time, but they could never, these freezers and stuff that they have in these restaurants aren't big enough to hold their full menu on there. And it's even like in Uncle Louie's. I think we were in there the other day and they were out of one thing that they normally have. So it's not uncommon for a place to be out of something during the rally. So that can happen. Just some different things to think about. Next year, there is a lot of the campgrounds that are already open. They're actually taking reservations. I just seen Hog Heaven. They announced they're taking their reservations already. I believe Kathmandu is already starting to do some stuff with theirs. They're taking names and stuff down to get going there. They may be adding a few more spots this year for 2026. Over at the Full Throttle, they're definitely doing at the Full Throttle. They're doing their premier cabins with the showers and the bathrooms, the TV, the internet, all the stuff. Oh, it's like staying at home. So those are up for grabs now. You can go ahead and book them now. I'm pretty much telling everybody, if you're going in 2026, you should really think about buying your concert tickets. If you're that person that loves to see concerts, I'm going to tell you pretty much Kid Rock for sure is probably going, unless something happens to him. He's going to be pretty much for sure going to be playing at the Buffalo Chip. I can bet money on it. I'm pretty much guessing we're probably going to see Jelly Roll out there too. Michael Ballard said he's going to kick it up again next year and bring in some good acts. If you're really interested in more country music, you're probably going to get more of that at Full Throttle than what you did here at the Buffalo Chip. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. We're going to be talking to them in the next few weeks to try to get kind of a little bit of an idea what they're thinking and what they're going at. But I think this next year could be a really good year. One thing is, which a lot of you may not be here during that time, but over the 4th of July, they're going to have fireworks out at Mount Rushmore and had that for 10 plus years.
Wow.
15 years.
Oh.
16.
2020.
Oh, yeah, 6 years. And it'll be 6 years at that time when it comes back up. So they haven't had it. They kept going back and forth, back and forth. Well, this year they're supposed to have it in 2026. So it's going to be a pretty big thing. A lot of people are I've seen now on YouTube are going to start taking our advice on maybe when they should come to the rally and looking at maybe coming that first week, pre-rally week, and then leaving that weekend sometime. And that's a good time to look at it unless you're really looking at the concert.
So we've driven by that Gaslight, and a lot of people told us they had good burgers there too, but we never did stop there. We probably passed it, 3 or 4 times in Rockerville. That restaurant right there. So yeah, thought about stopping there, but we'd either already eaten or I don't know why we never stopped.
Ain't enough time in a day. Well, we look at one is we're only eating
so many burgers,
1 meal a day. So if we were there for 9 weeks, well, the week of the rally isn't going to count because we really don't have time to be out going far distance. This year we did things a little different. The views kind of showed for that. We ended up not doing the typical of showing you all the exciting stuff that was going on. We spent more time. We did go on some rides with some of you. Another group out to the best chicken in the world. We also went out to Devil's Tower. Another thing we were talking about attendance. One of the things that actually shocked was when we did this ride to Devil's Tower. Well, the first thing was it was getting later in the afternoon, but the parking lot was almost empty. That parking lot's usually packed.
Usually hard to find a place
lodge or whatever
to park.
That they call that
trading post.
Trading post. That's what. And so when I went inside, I ended up deciding I want to get a Gatorade. So I got up to the counter, and there wasn't a bunch of people behind me. So I asked a girl that was behind the counter. I said, "Did you work here last year?" And she said, "No, I've been working here for 4 years." So I said, "You worked the rally last year?" I said, "Oh, yes, I did." And I said, "Well, how are you rating the rally?" Now this is on Thursday.
Wednesday
we went to Devil's Tower.
It's because we went after the ham jam on Wednesday.
So Wednesday, we're already getting down to the week's petering out. So,
but it's a busy day because of ham jam. A lot of people do that. They go to Hewlett for the ham jam, and then they go over to Devil's Tower. So go ahead.
So what she ended up telling me is, I said, "Well, how do you compare this to last year?" She said, "This year is very." I was like, "Wow, that's Devil's Tower." So that was really shocking to me that it was less people coming out than last year. So then we go back to when we were on Main Street. The only day we seen a big crowd on Main Street was opening day on Friday. They had the parade, if you call it that, handful of motorcycles. Clydesdale. I should just say it's a Clydesdale event. Done with it. There was no parade. They go down one block and turn in the end. So it's I don't know. I don't know why what they're trying to prove to me. It was the first time we really watched a parade, and I was very disappointed. Could have seen the Clydesdales anywhere. They were all out at the Full Throttle. They were also at the Buffalo Chip.
They went to Deadwood, and I think in town they took one horse.
You've seen that before.
2 or 3 different times during the rally. So they want to know if you're going to do another gastrointestinal review on your next year.
We're thinking about that. That's what she wants to do, is maybe do pizza. I don't know yet. I haven't. That's too far away for us to think. Hamburgers are pretty common because everybody sells hamburgers.
Well, I think that why we did it, somebody had made a comment of where's the best burger in the Black Hills. So we ate at a few, and I said, here, we can do a burger challenge. And that's what it turned into. Somebody asking about where the best burger was. That's how we did it. So then after a couple weeks of pizzas, which was actually 7, but after the first couple, I'm like, because we were sharing meals. So I had burger every single day. A couple times we had chicken, a few other things. But the majority of the days we were eating burgers.
3 days of soup?
I did. I got 3 different days of soup. So
Turned
that
down
was
one
good.
day. We could go there or you go to the pizza ranch.
I was hungry that day.
You
I
wanted the
wanted a
pizza
lot
ranch.
of food.
So I don't know what we'll do next year. We'll have to think about it.
Maybe we'll do
And I'll have to
soup
look around and
challenge.
see. The pizzas are tough because there's so many, same thing. But a lot of these places that have pizza, I think a lot of them are the bar pizza. It's actually pizzas that are frozen and they're putting them in a machine and they're cooking them. That's what I think a lot of them are. I don't think a lot of them are hand cooking them and making them and doing all that. So that's a thought, but I don't know if I could eat pizza, pepperoni every single day if my stomach would
That
hold up
would
for
hurt
that.
our stomachs. We do have sensitive stomachs.
So I don't know, but we'll think about it.
Location of your intro video drone shot. Santa
That-
Monica Boulevard. That's off the Santa Monica Pier. Our
Yep,
son-in-law did that.
Yep, he does TV commercials. And when we first started, I said I wanted something of like a drone shot because we didn't have a drone or nothing like that back then. And so he sent me a couple different ones that he had, and I seen the Santa Monica one, and I'm like, I like that. So then he made all that for us. I didn't make all that. He did all that. I guess
He made the logo spin and all
yeah,
that.
and he's changed the logos back and
It
had a
takes
trailer
him like
originally.
5 minutes where it would take.
About an hour for me to figure it out.
So Tim says Devil's Tower, the biggest tree I ever saw cut down, but I want to see that chainsaw because you know how it looks. Bottom here. He must not be in a very jockey
It must
mood
be.
today.
It was supposed to be a giant bear.
It was a bear that
clawed
clawed,
it.
and
That's what the Indian.
it was trying to get the Princess Indian. So Skippy says, okay, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Thank you, Skippy.
And so that's kind of just a little bit of a rundown of the rally. I think we had probably a really good attendance. There could have been maybe 100,000 people
Leo.
out in the hills and in the city at one time, but I don't think we had any 500,000 people like they're saying. But once again, all they've got is a car count. And so they're just assuming. And I have to look and see where the rubber bands are at. But
there was even some rubber bands on Fort Meade Way. So that was kind of an odd place. But I mean, I guess maybe it'll get that road fixed sooner.
I doubt it. Not in our lifetime, probably.
Oh, there we go. That's what we should do. An ice cream review. That's up my alley. I'll go with that one. Ice cream reviews. Magnolia Soup Company. That's where I ate my soup. It was very good. How about Paul Bunyan to lift that saw? You would need Paul Bunyan if that was a real tree. People at Campground said the road to Devil's Tower was closed both ways earlier than open the road. I went to Jam. He turned around and went somewhere else. It was closed there for a minute. You were with us, weren't you? Got to Devil's Tower with? Good.
But yes, there was an accident on not going from
14A.
not going from Hewlett
Thanks.
to Devil's Tower. But then what
Out of
we
our
ended up doing
budget.
is we know the owner of the bar, Tom, that was on our channel, did the video. He went down and talked to the sheriff. And then when he walked back, he said, by the time you guys go down to Devil's
Rob,
Tower,
thank
do
you.
what you're doing, they'll have the road back open. So that's what we did. That was our plan. And it worked just like it said it would. So that's why we went ahead. But I mean, they were telling people when you were coming out of Hewlett, don't go that way. Well, they didn't know best. So we did. We got through it all. Ended up being there was no fatality in that accident, at least at that time, because that's what, when we talked about counts with Chief, he said what ends up happening is they're There's people that were alive when they had the accident, and then they died later on at the hospital. So they said that's where sometimes the counts can change.
Who's that standing behind you? It's somebody waiting to get in, but we won't let them in.
That's right.
now.
The door's closed.
Great ice cream in Ocean City. Well, we'll have to check that out. Maybe we'll do an ice cream challenge, Joe.
And you want to gain weight?
In Ocean City. I don't know. I like my ice cream. I've been making my own ice cream when I get home. Make me a little chocolate shake. My protein drink with coconut milk, and then I put ice in it, and it makes it just like a shake. And that satisfies my chocolate, my ice cream, and my sweets. So there you go. We had a blast, but the time went way too fast. Yes, it did, Mike. When the rally came, it went really fast. Supposedly, the count in Daytona is from cell phone ping. Some places are doing that. Place downtown Sturgis was good. Yep, that's Emma's. They've got good ice cream there. No,
They're high all the time. So then I don't think they raise their prices.
they don't raise their prices.
It's for $8 for a root beer float's a little rough.
One night I had a brownie sundae with chocolate ice cream and hot fudge on the top. And the girl's like, do you want some more, a little bit of chocolate with that? And I said, yep, that's the way I like it. More chocolate. Yes, we were with you. Right. So that was the same day that I guess those other people couldn't get through then. Healthy Badger says, good evening. Happy birthday, Tammy. Listening along with the work with the Smoke Bill Rally. The chopper is going to be done down to the wire, completed by the deadline. There you go. You'll have to send us pictures, Salty Badger, doing a chopper build for the Smoky Mountain Rally. Up and down. Say thank you, Matthew. Guys during the Thunder Beach, but love seeing. Yep, we only got to see him.
Who?
Yeah, we went to
twice.
Neighbors.
Oh, to eat, but we went to their booth too.
Yeah. 101 West Washington State. I heard every bike on the. There were very few motorcycles. They must have had a bike rally up there. How are you? That is cast off in a boot. I think he's able to walk around a little bit. I heard. Didn't he record the twin boys fighting in the sea?
We never seen that. So I don't know when that happened and what happened. We don't. To me, it's
heard about it.
It's not worth my time to look into this. We know a lot of the like we've talked about before. I know a lot of the presidents at the clubs and stuff that are involved with Sturgis and stuff, and we've heard so much different. A couple of them wrote me back and said there was nothing really going on. And somebody else said that these twin guys are looking for attention. They had nothing to do with. I don't think from what we're hearing, they're not even part of a club or anything else. They're just. It's kind of like Black Lives Matter when they came out and threatened everybody and said they were going to come to Sturgis and raise holy heck and all that. And so at this point, I'm not really interested in them. I've never really heard about them.
Sturgis Bike Life says someone said that they're just a bunch of college kids.
Nah, they're older than that. Their beards look pretty rough. So I'm thinking they're probably in their 30s or 40s just by looking at the pictures that I've seen of these two guys. But I mean, I don't know nothing about them. I'm not going to waste my time looking them up because I'm not going to give them any extra attention that they don't. Who cares? I had never heard nothing about that. This year, like I say, we stayed a lot of time in town.
Okay.
I've seen less 1% clubs this year than I've ever seen in Sturgis. It was weird that we've, just usually we pass them on the street because I'm filming and they're heading at me. And so I notice it more when I'm filming. Every time I was down on Main Street filming, because at first I was like, are they even here? And they're like, she goes, oh, they're right there in house. And so I looked and they're standing inside their booth and they had their 4 bikes sitting out front, which is fine. I filmed some of their bikes. And, but I never did really see the other store, which is down by right next door to the dungeon, I think it is. But like I say, usually I see them walking up and down Main Street. I didn't see them out at all. I didn't see any of them riding anywhere. And I did see some clubs, but I didn't see any, even Sons of Silence that we know. Really didn't see them, weren't really that dominant this year. Sometimes they'll have a booth on Main Street, and I don't think they did. I didn't see one there. They had it in front of Uncle Louie's before, and there was somebody else in front of there.
Thank you, Mike. He says, the twin 1% is a joke. Look up on Judge Judy 25 years ago. The guys can't even read or write. They're from Iowa. Here's to the birthday girl.
I think I did hear somebody say something about that they were on Judge Judy's.
You know who else was on Judge Judy a long time ago? Was George Floyd. Go look that one up. He was there and his daddy was with him. Joe said it was because they were wearing the 1% diamond patch over their vest. Less 1%ers because of the tariffs. Just joking.
Well, that's what everybody said. Somebody else wrote that too and said, because talk about Las Vegas, it was also on a Las Vegas feed because miles away. And they said the tourism's down because of the tariff. And I'm like, I didn't know the hotels put tariffs on. I didn't know that the alcohol they're selling with tariffs on it. So it's like, that's such a line of crap. Or airline tickets. There's no tariffs put on airline tickets for flying into this country. So things are down because probably money's getting tight everywhere. And so people aren't spending, which is what we've seen in Sturgis this year.
Hey, Mary
The
Beth.
vendors were,
The
vendors should have done close to 75 anniversary numbers because of the crowd that was there. It wasn't as big as the 75th, but it was probably close to it. The vendors, some didn't even break even, some broke even, and the ones that really made money made less than 10% increase from last year.
Only one person we heard did extremely well.
And so that just kind of tells you right there.
Cool, Catherine.
That's how I usually determine how a rally is. If I would have never got out and did all the extra writing that we did, I would have said there wasn't 30,000 people show up in Sturgis. That's probably about all that showed up downtown for the whole week. Just like the concerts, they at the Full Throttle on the Hank Jr. It was pretty crowded. 10,000 people maybe, if there was that many. I first said around 7, but I'll go ahead and say 7 to 10. I don't know any more than that. We heard the rest of the concerts weren't really as big as they thought they were going to be.
Gretchen Wilson probably wasn't because Nickelback played that night.
But I don't think any of them, you didn't have a Kid Rock or Jelly Roll crowd like at the Buffalo Chip like you did. Those other crowds there was a good crowd. I could see them looking at the camera, but when they took a picture, the Buffalo Chip did, but they didn't look all the way in the back. They took it when it's dark, so you couldn't see. It looked like there was a good crowd there, but you couldn't. It didn't look to me like a crazy crowd. Because a lot of times they try to say that there's 100,000 people that are in the Buffalo Chip down there. There's no 100,000. If you got 10,000 in one of these concerts, that's going to be a really good amount of people. And same thing. I'm really next year we're going to do this differently because we talked to her today about. I said what we're going to do next year is we're going to go to every one of the concerts for about 15 to 20 minutes, so we can get that of what the audience is. So we're going to have a really better understanding next year of what concerts were definitely successful and which ones didn't. And so we'll see how that all works out. Yep, somebody sent you some money.
Yep. Right, Rex. Thank you. Happy birthday, money.
There you go.
I'm contributing it to the ice cream review project when we get to Ocean City. That was Joe from Right Rex.
Is he going to Ocean City?
Yes, he did. When he wrote me happy birthday, he told me he was. I said, I know it's been a year since we've seen him. He didn't go to any.
Going to go to Sturgis. They were going to save up.
He didn't go to Sturgis, and he didn't go to Daytona. Sometimes they go to Myrtle Beach.
That's why he didn't go to Daytona, because he was saved.
Oh, well.
So we're
Catherine asked, how do you upload?
Upload videos?
I'm assuming. I don't know for sure.
Here at home, it works really good. We have really fast internet here at home. So I upload everything through a computer like everybody else does. We're on the road, it's tough. Now, if you're asking on the road, this year, what we're using is Verizon. I got a Verizon hotspot with the antennas and all that on there, and it's been doing fairly well. Most of them does it in a couple hours. They're uploaded. The videos that I just made the video the other day on the Full Throttle. They're pretty long ones, a little over 30 minutes. It took about 20 or 30 minutes to upload that. The video on Ocean City at Biktoberfest, that took 5 or 10 minutes, and it was up because it's a shorter video. It's like 9 minutes, something, not very long. Because we're inviting everybody. That's one of the things we're doing is Daytona. Biktoberfest is going to wrap up our videos this year. Our YouTube for rallies. It's going to wrap that up. So we're inviting everybody to come join us down there, and we'll do stuff different than what we've ever done before. One, we'll spend a lot more time. We'll go out on a bunch of rides probably every day. Right now we don't have a whole lot planned for being down there other than getting a bunch of footage. If Daytona Bike Week or if Biktoberfest wants to bring us back next year, then we'll have a lot of footage that I've been looking for, and I can't find half the stuff that sometimes we don't go every year. Like the Lighthouse. We didn't go this year to Lighthouse. We went, I don't know, a couple years ago we went. And so I want to get a lot more footage this year of destinations. Now, I got one for the loop. I don't really need the loop again, but of course everybody wants to ride the loop. I mean, there's some really cool bars that we found down there, and some of it I did have footage on because we did hit a couple of those. Good view along the water and stuff like that. I'd like to get some shots of like the
Well, one
A1A.
year we got up. I wanted to see the sunrise, which why? But anyway, so we got up like at 5:00 and rode the coast up to St. Augustine's. But one, it was a little overcast, and two, the dunes were right there, so you really couldn't see. You could see the sun, but you couldn't really see the.
Almost have to go
the
like the
ocean.
Flagler Beach, and I don't know if they're open. You can get they serve breakfast there or not. They get up on their
And at
deck and see
5:00
it.
in the morning.
Well, they might do breakfast.
But I mean, anyway, it was a good ride, and then we had to hurry up and get back because I think that was the same day Willie's tropical tattoo show. So we got up at 5, went up there, ate breakfast, and turned around and came back to Daytona.
So we're
came
getting there
back the
early.
highway.
So we'll be there the weekend before. I think we come in Thursday. I think it is. We'll be over there by Friday morning. We'll be up and ready to go and start doing stuff. So if you're coming down early, we'll be available to, like I say, all that time we're going to be doing some rides and checking some stuff out, and we'll be showing some of it on YouTube. Some of the stuff that's going on. They've got the Main Street bars back open again.
She's asking the program. It says, "Let me share video and images." And when that asked about the uploading, I don't know exactly what you're asking, Catherine. Sorry. What was the gas cost in Sturgis? $4.55 for regular at a cheap station in West Washington.
That was high. We paid
For premium.
A couple places I paid about $3.80 to $3.90. A couple of the outlining places we paid a little over $4 a gallon. If you're ever near Belle-Fourche, which I should just let my truck run low, it's about 20 cents a gallon cheaper than anywhere else in South Dakota. So at the end, it kept getting, even after you guys all left, the gas actually jumped a few pennies more. So it wasn't just because of the rally. Everybody always says that. They were jacking all the prices up just because of the rally. And that doesn't necessarily have it. What we were told about South Dakota gas is that all the gas comes in on the 90, the 80, the 80. And so they have to bring it up north. And that's why gas along that area costs more money. Expensive. Where if you're getting gas like from Chicago, they can get it from, I guess, from like Michigan and stuff. They can bring the tankers in, and I don't know where. And so they don't have a lot of places that gas can be distributed to where they can fill the trucks up and come out.
There you go, bagger.
Glasses on.
It says, let's just say on any given day there were 5,000 bikes at full throttle in the chip and downtown, then 10,000 everywhere else. That's only 25,000 bikes times 10 days. That's 250,000 total. That number I think is more realistic.
There you go. You're probably really right. But that's even being, you're giving more because there's probably not 5,000 bikes at the full throttle. But I mean, you like I say, unless we count, we had counters, we bought counters, we were going to do all that. We just didn't get, before the rally, everything ran really smooth. Once the rally started, things just didn't go as smooth as what we normally roll. I'm not quite sure why things didn't. There's a lot of great things that we missed. There was a lot of stuff that happened over the Buffalo Chip, going through the flames, getting the stunt shows and all that. We didn't get any of that over there. We really didn't spend. We got one bike show, Evo show. I got a few shots of that.
Yeah, some of the bikers.
Yeah, some of that, and so it's.
Thank you, Daytona Dave.
We've got some great interviews. We got to talk to all the inductees. That's another video I got to put up. So there is some stuff. We just put the Chiefs ride up Friday. A lot of people weren't real interested in that, but it's a cool ride to go on before the rally.
Thank you.
We're going to call, and I didn't end up calling him to ask him how many bikes we had. Probably had 30 or 40 bikes during the Chiefs ride.
Pretty good one.
And I mean, it's the same ride every year. He doesn't go anywhere different. But the idea is you're getting out and riding with other people. Probably this year, our highlight is that we met so many people that watch the channel. Everybody was subscribers, but so many people. It was almost, for us, it was almost overwhelming, the people that noticed us. People would yell as we're riding down the highway or we're on the road, or if I'm standing by the road filming bikes, they were yelling down Main Street. It was just overwhelming, which we've always had a few, but we've never had the abundance that we had this year. But a lot of people, like when I'd be talking to somebody and we'd say something about the channel, they're like, I think I seen one of your videos before I came out here. I tried to watch a lot more. There was 9 weeks worth of it. I got a lot more help.
Yeah.
And we did. We've gotten lots of emails. There's a lot of them in the chat. The people just thanked us,
Matt just said thanks for the road construction information.
Giving out all the information that we have. Because the reason we do this channel is the same reason that we were just like you. We rode our bike she rode once to Sturgis from Southern California. We rode about 1,500 miles each way, except for the long way. We went one time about 2,200 miles. But we rode the bike, and so we were just like everybody else. We showed up, and the problem with these rallies, they're all the same. There's nobody puts everything together. Now, there was the rally amp, the Sturgis rally amp, and he was starting out pretty good. But what ended up happening is there's a lot of information that's on the internet that they're not quite up to date, or it's AI took it and they didn't put the right day. One was the cancer ride for the Iron Horse. It was for prostate cancer. A free ride. Billy Lane was there.
Free.
And they went out on a ride. I think what's his name? From Orange County Choppers.
Paul Sr.
He was there. He went on the ride, and it kept saying, I think she had it down for Monday. And I'm like, no, it's Wednesday. I've seen it on the thing. So then when I Googled it and did the search, it did say Monday. But then when I went to the Iron Horse, because that's where it was at, it had the right day on everything. And so there's bad information out there for everybody. Not everything, especially now since AI is out here. I don't know what quite they're doing. For instance, the Buffalo Chip is announcing that they're going to open a casino / something. Well, we've kind of figured out where it's at now, but we don't know the land yet. We're still looking for that in Nevada. And but if you AI it gives you one town. But is that anywhere
that's really
right?
Where it is.
Yeah. So a lot of information is not out on it. The town that I'm thinking of wasn't one that I had thought about when we were in Sturgis. Everybody thought about Vegas, Henderson, and all this, and they all said no, no, no. Well, then I kept thinking Reno. I'm like, if they put one in Reno, they're going to lose all their money. Ain't nobody going to Reno anymore. That's like the last leg of, beating a dead horse. They're just trying to get that thing going again. It's all the casinos up there are old. They've never updated any of them. They're just the way they were about 50 years ago. Done nothing to them. So that just tells you there's no money going on there. So then I thought, well, because we thought you had to be in a major city. Well, when we looked it up, actually, you could have a casino anywhere in the state of Nevada. So that was interesting that I didn't know. But we think we've kind of figured out where it's going to be. We haven't crossed over the list yet. Rod Woody there to ask him.
You're talking about gas, crap on a cracker. Bill said that he paid $8 for a gallon of gas at Moonshine Gulch. They sold it to me as an emergency gallon.
I was going to say, I didn't think they had any gas pumps there.
Remember, he told us the story.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of guys that carry that
and when
gallon.
You need gas, you need it. Right? It doesn't matter how much it costs.
Yeah. And it is. Well, I don't really, riding my motorcycle, the average is it holds 6 gallons. Normally it's around 4 gallons when I refill up the bike. I really don't care what the price. I'm riding my bike for an enjoyment, and it's even $6, 6 gallons, even if it was $10 a gallon, $60, it's really not that big of a deal because we're riding the bike. That's what we're doing. It's like, it's something you have to do. And, it's like buying gas on the way to Sturgis. You got to get there and you try to find the best prices. But yes, you could go. Actually, I couldn't believe that. Actually, that station right on the corner of LaSalle and Junction there actually had a really good price. Their premium was like $3.89 a gallon for the non-ethanol. And it was like, wow, I can't. And it stayed there the whole time through the rally, and everybody else was higher. And I was like, that other station down at the end of the street was close to $4.
Yeah. There's Rowan. Rowan's on. Okay, I got a couple questions. Chip said that this Wednesday gas was $2.88 Rapid City. So that was pretty good. Wyatt's Lemonade opens. They're open periodically when they have like the
That's-
Trans Am rally, the Corvette rally, the Mustang rally. They'll be open for that weekend. But for the rallies, motorcycle rally, they open the week before, like that weekend before, kind of like when Black Hills is open. So that's when Wyatt's opened.
He's not open during the week. He only opens up on that weekend. And then other times he's kind of spotty. You have to, because there's no use him sitting down there. So another thing I want to announce about Wyatt, go check it out. He has started a YouTube channel. He's only got 2 videos. He's got him a little 360 camera now, and not a whole lot. He's not saying anything yet. I joined it today, and he only had about 76 subscribers. And so, hey, go check out Wyatt's Lemonade on YouTube and sign up and tell him Bob and TM sent you over there. And maybe we can get him going, and maybe we can get him talking a little bit more on his channel. We wanted to kind of meet up with him before it was over. I kind of wrote his dad, but his dad never did write me back in time, so we never did get a final goodbye or anything, or get him to say. We were trying to do that. We went around to a lot of the vendors to thank them for coming out and seeing all that. And I don't know if his dad really understood what I was asking. He only writes so much on Messenger, so he never got back to me, which is fine. Maybe he had something going on.
They said the city doesn't want anybody in their town. The events are close to being dead in Reno. Talking about it's like
we've been there, done that. Don't look and go back.
They have street vibrations, and really the city of Reno isn't doing anymore. It's all up in Virginia City, and
they got the little parking lot there that they have some event that a promoter puts on, but there's no events going on there anymore. There's no bike shows. No. The dealership, last time we were at the dealership there in Reno, really didn't have many vendors there.
Or was it Carson?
Oh, it's Carson. Yeah, I guess didn't have a whole lot of vendors. We probably won't go that route anymore. There's a bunch of stuff going on this next couple of weeks. We got there's another one in November here. They're going to have one out here by Oatman. They're going to have some kind of weekend of camping and partying and bikers and stuff but right now there's a whole lot of different events, a lot of weekend stuff people are trying to get going.
Yeah, there's supposed to be something this weekend, but we aren't going to be here down at the dealership. They called me when I was in Sturgis, and I don't know who it was, and they said, this is Mother Road in Kingman. And I said, okay. And I'm thinking, did we leave something there? I don't know. And they said, well, we just wanted to invite you down for the luau, the end of summer luau they're having. And they said, we'd love it if you guys could make it down. But we did meet somebody that was they were part of the band. Remember, they met us and they said, oh, we subscribers. So I don't know if they're playing in the band, and they asked, that's who it was that called for us to come down there. I'm not sure who it was, but California. Wyatt opened early, and I made that first donation for this year. And it was, they'll stop by there before he was really open. Bruce says, hello from Prescott. There, I got to go. What was the hot motorcycle product selling in Sturgis this year?
Well, the only thing that I seen that was new, which I didn't really look into it. I was thinking about it and I didn't do it. Rockford Fosgate came out with another sound system. And what they've done is, like on my bike, I've got the high pitch where you can ride 80, 90 miles an hour with helmets on and you can still hear your radio clear as day. Well, what they've done is they've come out now with another amp and some different speakers. It's got a little bit more mid-range, because typically your bass, once you hit 45 miles an hour, you left it back at the stop sign. And so you really don't get that. You don't really get a lot of really good sound unless you're staying in town all the time, which is what I am. I'm more interested in being on the highway. But the bad news is if you play a song that was really bassy, it kind of sounds like crap because it just doesn't have any thump to it or anything. So they've come out with this brand new system. And so I've got the high pitch ones, which I could have gone in and just got the speakers. They could tweak it to the amp and make it work. But what's nice about it is it's plug and play for the 23s, 24s, 25s. It all is plug and play. So it's not something you're going in there and have to cut ends off wires off your old speakers or whatever to make it work, which is what a lot of people are doing. So that was probably the one thing that we seen. Now, we didn't spend a lot of time looking at vendors this year. I think a lot of it had to do with us spending so much time at the Full Throttle Saloon. Because I thought
a lot more writing too than we.
Oh yes, but I think we did a lot more because the Full Throttle we went over there a couple of times and that would have been the end of it. we wouldn't have gone over. So I didn't. There was a lot of times we didn't go. There's a video that I've got that's coming out Monday. I actually put the days we were there, and so you can see from day to day what they did and what advancements they made and what they, what we ended up with at the end. And
got a magnetic dipstick. Chip said that's what he saw that he liked.
They've had that for a while though. But I know Adam's selling. Everybody's selling those colored ones. You can get different colors for your
to
bike.
match your bike color, whatever color it
And
is.
so I've seen those
Thanks,
too.
Dave's.
So, but yeah, other than that, I really didn't see anything new and exciting. Well, see, the difference is the 24 25s are pretty much the same bike. So there's a lot of people are still trying to get used to that. So we'll have to, I don't know. Joey that does all about customs, we talked to him for quite a while, and he did a lot of fat tire kits he did over there. Did some handlebars and stuff, and he said he did all right. They were pretty happy with what he had. He had some health issues while he was out there, and we were kind of a little bit worried about him, but when he left, he looked really good, and he survived the rally. So if anybody's looking for a job to work at a rally, or if you got a kid or son or somebody
that's a little bit mechanically inclined,
that want to make some money, you could actually, they'll take him and take him along with them. They stay in the trailer with them and everything, and they could do the rally season and make some money and learn how to work on a motorcycle. So he's always looking for somebody that's good and mechanically inclined, what you kind of want. He had a good kid a while back, but the kid, I think, ended up turning gay on him and left. Went back home to his boyfriend. Like that. Oh, yeah,
something like
just
that.
the facts. I'm not saying good or bad about the kid. What happened to him? They said he was a mama's boy. I don't know if that's true, but he's no longer with them, and it seemed like that kid was doing really good.
Or yeah, he was, and he was actually doing some little TikTok videos and stuff for him, so that was always good. So Chip says he just went to Wyatt's Lemonade channel, and he cannot probably.
I was able to.
Didn't make a comment.
You subscribed?
Mike said Lake Tahoe. I don't know what I wrote. Oh, they went to Bonanza. It's tourist trap, but when we went, Bonanza already closed up, the Ponderosa from the movie. Yeah. So they said it's privately owned now, and you can't really get to it.
Or something now.
And Michael said that there's another rally at the end of August at Four Corners. Heard about that, but
the problem we've had some friends go there a couple years ago, and we kind of thought about going there. And then when they were out there, she came back and said, "I'll never go again." So it's like, I guess it's mainly at one big bar there is where everything is kind of at.
In Durango.
Yeah. And so I don't know. And the problem with a lot of this stuff is when you get to be a 3 or 4 day rally, it's not worth going to for us because there just isn't enough content and not enough people really want to know anything about it. So it's more of a pleasure trip, which ends up costing us money that we really don't need to spend on something that's that busy. So once we always tell everybody, you get a lot of that all the time. People keep wanting us to go to Laconia. You get a hold of the dealership, get a hold of a few people up there that want to sponsor us, then we'll be happy to come back and cover it. But for us to spend $4,000 or $5,000 to go up there and drive up there and then find a place to stay and then cover it all, I'm not going to make that kind of money on making it break even.
We
know the show.
We still watch it. Yep.
Big Hoss.
Little Joe.
Yeah. So we watch it.
Michael Landon. Ryder X said, has anyone ever had or driven with a fat tire? He thinks it would be harder to handle with a fat tire on the front.
No, well, you could actually talk when you had your Fat Boy Low. That had a fat tire on the front.
Well, did it have one on the front? I know it had one on the back. I loved it. It was like riding on glass.
But they say, I talked to Joey and all that about it. And Carolyn's got it on her bike and his bike and says, because what you're getting more traction on the road. Because like when I ride her Sportster, I have a tough time because it picks up every rock. You can feel every little bump in the road. You can feel. Well, the wider the tire or traction you're going to get, the tire's going to hold the road better.
Grazi says the fat tires front or back are harder to. I don't know. I liked mine on my Fat Boy Low.
Yeah.
Watch the bummed that I wasn't there. I know. I was really bummed we didn't get to meet you, Rowan. I was really excited.
Yeah, we had a lot of Australians there.
There were. Had a lot of them.
We met a lot. When people were trying to say, "Oh, there's no foreigners coming," there was a lot. A lot of them we got on the channel. We should have started right away. If I had no indication that we were going to meet thousands of people at the rally this year, we would have just done videos on that because it was just overwhelming how many people knew who we were. Maybe they only seen one video, but they knew what we were doing, how we're doing it. We just did a new intro video. If you go back to our regular homepage now, we kind of changed about what we did when we made it 6 years ago.
Gotta watch where you park.
Yeah.
Like the Jared Williams had 2 Triumph bikes stolen, or not stolen, towed. 400 times 3.
But see,
$1,200.
he didn't say the truth, which I got to call the chief back and ask. It's either $125 or $140 for your ticket. Towing, city has nothing to do with that. That's not the.
It's the tow company.
That's right. They charge whatever they want. They want to charge you $50. They want to charge you $1,000. That they have no contract with the city, because what happens is there's only a handful of tow trucks there. Because I said, why don't you I talked to the chief about this. Why don't you put one tow truck company on, get a contract with them? He said, because they couldn't keep up. And so what we did find out that I never knew was if the barricade is up and it says right here on Main Street, from this point on is bikes only, you can park in that yellow there. You can't park on the yellow that's going to the intersection. So I asked 2 police officers, told me the same thing, and I talked to the chief and he said the same thing too. Yes, you can park on those yellows. But see, what ends up happening is most people screw up where for years you could do it, where they have the fire lanes now that are on some of the side streets coming to Main Street. So you can only park on one side. Yeah. So you have to look at that. And what ends up happening is 4 or 5 guys park their bikes there, and then they park their bike there, and then it's towed, and they're like, there's no markings. Yes, there was. On the barricade, it said no parking this block. Also, they had the big circles on the road. They were about this big around. It said P parking, and had a slash through it all the way. Had like 4 or 5 in a block. So yes, I seen those. They were very noticeable this year. Probably got them in a video. I didn't film them intentionally. But we did see like along Harley Davidson Drive over there. When you get over to where the Harley display was at. Now there was really weird because you couldn't park on the right side of the road if you were going down the road. The post office is on the right. But on the left, that's all yellow. You could park there because they had the barricades up that said motorcycle parking only. So you've just got to be observant of what you do. And so Weems, having his first bike towed, you would have thought he would have learned. You wouldn't have got a second one towed.
In his video, he said it was a 1-hour parking zone, and it cost him $1,200 to get them out of impound. So it wasn't the ticket; it was the towing that really cost him and getting them out.
But you have to read the signs because he could have ended up. Well, see, I don't know any place that had 1-hour parking. I'll have to check with him because I watched the video this morning. He said hi to me, and because we missed him, which you wouldn't know him now. He's got a big old beard and everything.
Oh, does he?
You would never known it was him. And so he spent a lot of time at the chip.
Okay.
But he looked like he might have been over there during the.
Oh, Neil, did you get that trike you sent me a picture of? I don't know. I was thinking that was pretty cool. And then I figured when you got back to Sturgis, you could sell that bike or take it down to the Black Hills Harley. It says they buy a used Harley. So buy that little trike. You could fly in like you normally do and drive that out to Sturgis and then sell your motorcycle to Black Hills Harley when you get to Sturgis. So I thought that was a smart move. I was surprised at how many people were up there with expiration tags. A lot of people do that. They don't have endorsements and they don't have current plates. We've seen that when that one of the biggest tickets that they were talking about. So yeah.
I'll say a lot of times it happens more with the older people.
Shuttles. There you go.
If you're younger, you're under 50, 60 years old, there's no reason you shouldn't have an endorsement. But back in the day, when people they're 70, 80s years old, they never had to have a driver's license for motorcycles. You had a car license and it was good enough. Well, over the years, all the states now all have endorsements now. And so you have to go get those. Like we lived in Illinois, there was 2 endorsements. You could get one for when you were between 16 and 18 for a 200cc and down. But anything 200cc and up, you couldn't ride till you were 18 years old. So I actually had to go with 2 licenses. I had to get my original one. Then when I turned 18, you had to go back and ride the big one again. You had to take a bigger bike out and redo the written or the driving test. You didn't have to take a written. You had to do another driving test. So I don't know if other states do that or not. I don't know. It was only 16 once. And so when we move, they always say, do you want to keep your endorsement? And even when I didn't have a motorcycle, I always say, yes, I don't ever want to give up my endorsement. And a motorcycle.
Yep.
Same thing, you need to have insurance. A lot of people don't do that. And, if you've done a lot of customizing work on your bike, you got to worry about that too. Because if you don't have your serial numbers matching up, like let's say the engine's got one serial number, the frame's got another serial number, and you got another serial number on the title. You need to take that to your state and get it all written up so you know what it is. You know, and some, like, we used to have a homemade trailer, and somebody asked that the other day. They bought a paper title, or they bought a bill of sale for a uh, what do I buy?
Right.
Harbor Freight. He bought a used trailer. The guy only had a bill of sale. He never got it titled. Well, he took it down, and now he needs all the stupid paperwork to get it titled. All he had to do is go down there and say, "I made the trailer." I did it with the trailer we had. We had a trailer I bought. I never titled it under our name. It sat
Thanks,
there with an
John.
enclosed
Happy
trailer
birthday to
even.
you too.
I just peeled off the serial number off of it. I took it up to the inspection place, and I said, "I built this." The guy looked at it, he checked it all out, got me a brand new tag to put on the side with a new serial number and a new title, and there you go. So it can be done, but if you've got a bike you've rebuilt and it's not, the numbers don't match anymore, you definitely want to make sure, because you don't want something to happen when you're that far away or you're driving. You know, we had Barney 5 pull us over before. You know, you're out in the middle of Wyoming, not in the middle of nowhere, and Barney 5 pulls you over and gives you a hard time about your numbers don't match up or something like that, or you ain't got insurance, or you ain't got the right license. You know, you could end up in some jail down in some rat hole down in some crappy town in Wyoming. Probably at least one crappy town in Wyoming. That's probably where we'd be stuck
Mike
at.
says he still don't have an endorsement. I've never been stopped by the cops. I outran them a few times on my 400 and my RZ 350.
You're very lucky.
Outran them a few times on dirt bikes. I got my endorsement. Oh, in 2017 at the age of 50. Oh, since I didn't.
So, but I mean, it's not uncommon for people not to have a license. That was a big thing. But I mean, now as we're getting a younger generation coming up, I think most of those people probably have license endorsements and stuff on their bikes and stuff now. I don't know if a lot of them would have insurance and stuff, but you got to realize if you don't pay for your insurance now, they void your plates immediately. So if you were driving your bike down in Sturgis, you didn't have any plates on it. Now everybody used to be that if you got a ticket in South Dakota, you lived in New York, there ain't nothing you can do to you. Now they can. They can pull your license in New York now. Everything's computerized. So yes, they can do all that. And will they probably send a warrant to get your arrest? No, but if you lose your license in there, then you gotta go back and pay the fine, or they'll never get your license back. So that can run into problems. Or if you got warrants out, you come out, and a lot of times that's what the police are looking for more than anything else, is if you got any outstanding warrants. Now, that'll get you arrested, but you have to see if, say you're in Sturgis and it's Florida, is who's got a warrant for you. Well, Florida says they're not coming to get you, then they're going to let you back out. Because a lot of places will not. It depends on how big your ticket is or what you've done. Because if it's a small ticket you owe a couple $100, they're not going to fly somebody all the way up there to haul you back to Florida for something you did. Now, if you got something else, some big fine, then yes, they're going to come get you. What are you looking for?
28th through the 31st of January auction, and yes, we will be going to that. I didn't written down here. Don't know why I didn't.
Well, they're not giving out passes. I wrote them, and he said, "We haven't even listed that yet. Why are you asking so?"
Our ducks in a row.
Yeah. We got the SEMA ones already. I'm still waiting for AMI. Monday they should approve those. This year the AMI is going to be in Anaheim, California.
At Butter's house.
Checking that one out.
Up. People are worried that they fail the driving test, them to parallel park their bike.
Well, what I did when I ever take, like
Georgia
when I took my
Bulldogs.
big test, my dad had a 400 Honda, so I took that 400 Honda instead of taking my 750. Just as a lighter bike, it's smaller. You know, you want to get on something. The smaller it is, the easier it is. They want you to drive around. Most of the time, all they want you to do is just drive in the parking lot. You go around the cones, make a U-turn, come back, go through the cones, and then you stop the bike.
Because they can't drive you anywhere off the parking lot because they can't be on the bike with you.
Can't follow you either. So they're usually always pretty easy, but you always want a light bike because you want something, because you can't put your feet down. Put your feet down, you automatically fail. So I mean, we've done it, and
I didn't have to take a driving test because it went along with my course.
Yeah. So if you take a rider edge course, or you take any advanced course, so what all you have to do is you have to take the written test. But if you pass the course, you automatically get your license. They give you a certificate, you go down and get it. You don't have to deal with the driver's department. So she never had to do that.
Hey, Jeffy, how are you doing? Back on again. Oh, yeah, it's a felony. Driver's license. Now I'm
That's not
forced to
good.
comply.
Yeah. It's even like drinking. There's no, that's what's bad if you got a CDL. You can't get anything. You can't go to traffic school. You can't do anything. You get a DUI, you automatically lose your license. For a CDL, you lose your job. Some of the guys I used to work with, that's a couple of guys that were bad, were loved to drink too much. And so,
Full argument between states or between Providence and states. If it's not validated or paid, and upon your return that location, you may be subject to arrest. That's my one cousin never came back out to visit me in California because they got a ticket and they never paid it. And they said, we can't come back. We'll get arrested. And that was years ago.
So that's what somebody asked too on Facebook today about if I'm a Canadian and I buy a motorcycle, how hard is it to bring it across the border?
Hey, Rick.
You just got to have all your paperwork with you. Got to have the title and all that stuff so you can show when you go across that everything, it's not a stolen item and it's not anything like that, because you can't order your plate from the US for Canada. You got to wait to get up there. So you just have a drive away to get into there. Just got to have all your paperwork together, which could end up running into a problem if they don't have the title in hand. Typically, like Black Hills Harley, they don't sell bikes until they have the titles. They're very funny about that. That's one of the reasons I think Rumble On did not come back. There's still people from last year that have not gotten their titles yet. And I just can't believe the state hasn't gone after them. But I don't know. I don't hear so much now about it because I did have a lady's phone number in Vegas that said she could help people. That's one of the, I think it's the Indian dealers, a Rumble On store. But they were actually the store they were coming
Right
up
on.
from. Right On, Rumble On. They changed it. They bought Rumble On out. So they all bought them. So, but I mean, it's still the same place. But I think that's one of the reasons they didn't go back, because they just had so much trouble with titles. And it is tough. If you're coming up like that selling bikes, it's like Heavy Ed there at Midwest Cycles. He sells some bikes, but he only brings a dozen bikes with him. So he's got all the titles and everything with him as he comes up. If he didn't have a title, he wouldn't bring the bike with him. So he did really good with rentals. We appreciate everybody that went out there and rented bikes from him. We had a lot of you that came out. That helps us with our sponsorship with him. He's going to set us up with a bike when we come to Daytona. And lots of repairs. The number one repair was mainly older bikes. They had a lot of, they were burning stators up because it was so hot. Everybody was out there in the afternoon up there at Needles Highway waiting for 2 hours to get through the tunnel, leaving their bikes run. There was one that actually melted the stator inside to the metal magnet part on the outside. And it was all black and gooed up and stuff. And it was like, wow. And it's like, he said, I've never seen that either. And he's been working on bikes for
a long time,
40 years. But yeah, he's one of the guys too that work on something older. I couldn't believe, like they did. They went out to pick one up in Deadwood and came back with 3 bikes. 2 more bikes broke down on the road, and they said, well, we can look at it. And so, yeah, they pretty much they still had a bike Monday morning that they finished up and gave to the guy. But pretty much, I think all the bikes they serviced, they got in there, they all got them running again and got them back on the road. So they did a really great job, and it's great mechanics. And they listen to my noise. They think I might have a new lifter going back. I'm going to have to check out. So that's exciting. What do you got? Somebody writing you?
I don't know why a bunch of people are writing me happy birthday texting instead of on here, but a lot of them are writing happy birthday on there. Pancho's on. I guess he's watching. So hello, Pancho. How are you? I just got your text. Talking. Matt. Make him in January. Yes, it's January 28th to the 31st, and we will be there in this January 2026. So that's the plan. Lord's willing, the creeks don't rise. Jesus don't come back first. Yep. Now it's gonna beep when he goes through the metal detector. See you two on the next one, Bob. And take the birthday girl out to dinner. We went out to lunch. Good information as always. So thanks, G. Grazi. Yeah, you wanted to know if I wanted to go before or after the live. I said, well, I'd rather go before. So then after the live, I can just take a shower and go to bed. I don't have to worry about going out and everything else. So that was my chick. So we went out to lunch. Outback. The state of Pennsylvania will pay for PA residents FC courses, even on track day. Michigan nonprofit, 2 days of MSF. Oh, we met those guys too. Course is $75. Harley dealer charges like 400. Yeah. We've been trying to tell them that, but they don't listen to us. Get a huge subsidy from the state. Says I need to fix up my honky tonk bar and garage and lounge. There you go, Jeffy. So where did you move? Did you move not too far from where you were at originally? Wheelan Tom says, good evening, Bob and Tampa team. Hope you're all doing great. We are. We're doing fine. Loving my nice warm weather. We're back here in the
107.
Yes. Very nice. We have to ride across MD and the D Bridge at nighttime from Ocean City this year. Why is it all lit up? Grocery store has 1 hour parking. Mike said.
Oh, well, the grocery store has really only
Yeah.
got parking for the grocery store.
I'll bring out the candles, cake and the candles. I do got flowers. I was going to bring them out here and I didn't. Speed recovery. 20 miles from where you used to live. Okay. So is it in a better place? Thank you, Rick. No, I can't find anything. I know it's the only bad thing about moving. If you don't move like in the same area or same neighborhood, it's like everything's in a different spot. They wanna know how Neil broke his leg laying in the hospital. The compression things.
That's what he's telling me.
I don't know.
I don't know what happened. He had knee troubles when he first got there. He was complaining his knee was hurting. He was having a heck of a time getting in the trailer when he first got there. So that's when I thought maybe something already kind of happened before he got there. He was already having some kind of issues, but I say, you don't, it's all hindsight. You never think about that. If if he was riding the bike and put his leg down and didn't think about it and, it didn't really hurt that bad. And then, then more happens. And then you're like, well, when did it seem to happen? So sometimes it's tough to go back and think, well, what happened when it all, from the day I left, well, it could be, I'd be going back all the way back to the day I left Alaska to when rally started, what all happened, but I mean, a lot of times you're not thinking about all that stuff,
or if you did, just stepped wrong and you think, oh, I just sprained my ankle. That's why it's sore, my knee or whatever you ended up doing. I don't know. It's, you never know. We're getting old and we break easier.
That's right.
There's Tim. He says, just got off the phone from Pancho telling me you were live. Thanks again for coming out. Pancho's talking about seeing y'all. Thanks for coming out and meeting Pancho and having pictures blown up. Oh my gosh. That's going to be a lot. Swelled up in the compression sleeve on it and it broke.
See, what you should have, if that's really what happened, you should go get a bone density test.
Yeah.
Because that shouldn't, we've talked to a few people and they said that no matter if your leg swelled up to be the size of a football, basketball, it shouldn't have broke your bone. It could have restricted your blood in your leg, but not break it. Where if it did break it, then you definitely need a bone density to make sure you don't have something going on bad.
You don't want to break any other bones.
Or find out that, because it is, as we get older, you can also get bone cancer. There's a lot of things out there that affect your bones, not just cancer. But if bones are getting frail, then you need to really take more care of what you do.
I also, they just saw on a YouTube channel, a attractive young lady was looking for a host in USA to take on her motorcycle vacation, and a truck pulled out in front of her on her 3 weeks ago, and her knee is still recovering. So, yeah, we don't heal as fast either the older we. But I'm glad to hear that his is out of the cast, and you can do it. Harley was in bad shape. I hate.
There's a lot of accidents. Like there's the problem with which I'm going to say a little bit more that we're going to have on the video. But the number one thing I seen this year, more than I've seen at any other rally, is the guys that are riding on the yellow line, and they're not moving for nobody. I'll scoot over because I'm like, I'm not going to go head on play chicken with somebody. Two motorcycles colliding isn't a smart move. That's the kind of guy I'd like to really turn around and chase his ass down and talk to him one way or the other. And but it's I don't know what they're trying to prove. I don't know, I don't know what the deal is. But we got to the point where I ended up I started riding in the lane. because where your car would be at. I pretty much rode that way when a lot of bikes were passing us, because I'm like, I'm not playing chicken with these people. And if I was in my truck, different story. I would have took them out. Probably would have hit them like one guy said. What if you'd been driving a Super Duty truck? It's got a big old mirror on the side, and it's going to be guys with the ape hangers would just wrap them around your truck. And it's like, I don't know why you would want to be that careless or even be that tough that I'm going to ride on the yellow line and I'm going to force everybody out of the way. Once again, people are looking at their radios, they're looking at their phones, even riding a motorcycle. Not everybody's paying 100% attention. I think that's what happened in Devil's Tower, that accident they had out there. 2 guys that collided. Neither one probably wanted to move, and that's what happened. Luckily, they didn't die, we know of. But I mean, it's I don't know. I really would like to find out where those guys live and see if they actually drive their cars the same way. If they're on the yellow line driving their car down the highway, why it's just a motorcycle. So if you're one of those guys, tell me why you're on the yellow line. Not so much. I can see riding. I like to ride the yellow line too, but I ride my tires on my side of the road. And that's the way I've always rode. But when I see bikes come at me, I do move over a little bit for them, because same thing. Somebody could just look down for a second and they could be in your lane. And that could be anywhere on the road. You really got to keep, when we talk to the police all the time, I say the same thing. You need to keep your head on a swivel and drive very defensively. But some of these guys out here, and I think a lot of these accidents are happening because of this. Same thing, a guy's riding the yellow line and he's got his highway peg sticking out. So now he's over in your lane. And if you got your highway peg sticking out and you're riding the yellow line, it's not going to be good for either one of you. I just don't. If you're one of those guys, I'd really like to know why you do it. Are you trying to prove something? You know, I've seen 1%ers and stuff like that they'll do a tendency of riding like that. But I'm not saying that that's an acceptable practice, but there might be 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 bikes in a row, and they're all riding exactly the same. So, you know, if you were in a car, you're probably going to move over, because you really wouldn't want to kill 25 guys or take out a whole line. Because we had a motorcycle group in San Diego when we used to ride. They got 6 of them got killed. Because that's what happened. The first bike caught a car, and that bike spun, took out the other 5 bikes and killed everybody on all those bikes. And the other bikes ended up getting off the road. They were swerved. It was actually a hog ride. But, you know, you don't think about that when you're riding. You think, hey, it's my lane. I'm in my lane. I should be safe. Can't protect that. That's one of the things you have to take when you ride a motorcycle. Roads are getting more busier now, especially for Sturgis this year. I just never seen so many guys that think their balls are that big that they could, you know, that they're indestructible. You might get some guy that's suicidal and think, I'm going for it. I'm playing chicken. Who's going to go first? It'd be a heck of a way to end your life, being that I'm stubborn and I'm going to ride the yellow. We'll see. Some people put comments up. Maybe somebody that does that, and they commented back. I don't even. Let me start from the. Yep, Jeffy says it's stupid. Rowan wrote teenage good complex. On a 2-lane highway in Michigan, on a curve, one Harley went over the center line and hit another Harley. 1 died and several were badly injured. 2 people on each bike. Ryder says, that accident I saw in Ocean City last year was the worst accident I've ever seen. Oh yeah, he had it was down there, which is downtown. And you wouldn't have never thought that an accident, which I think ended up happening in that one, if I remember right, it was a minivan stopped and the motorcycle slammed into the back of it. So, and it was going at a pretty good speed. Phones and screens are a problem also. Yep. I read the left car and truck tire grooves most of the time. Okay, so you're kind of going by what I. Done to my thing. I don't know. I don't know where it happened there. Tam stepped out. She'll be back in a minute. There's Highway Hillian. I will let her know you wish. Maybe they're from England. Don't know the other side of the road. That's possible. When I was home, I would put on a live stream from the hotel. I was surprised how many riders did not put their feet down at the stop sign. Also, some did a California stop glide through. Yeah, we've seen a lot of that. I really didn't see. I do know somebody that did get pulled over, and they talked to him, but they let him off because they had all their paperwork, and he admitted, I'm in a hurry. Actually, he's one of the shop owners. He went to get a part of JB Cycles, and he was going back the back road and doing the California stops. And he pulled him over, and he said, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" And he said, "Yeah, I didn't completely stop, but I'm trying to get over here." And he said, "Well, show me your insurance and driver's license." Looked it up, came back and said, "I'm just going to give you a warning." So it does happen. We had a few near misses, probably skip next year and ride non-rally time. And happy birthday, Tam. So are you going to Myrtle next May? Right now, we don't know what next year has. We're still waiting for all of our subscribers to come along, all of our sponsors to come back. Right now, we got Daytona down for sure. We've already got enough sponsors that sent money that we can get our tickets and stuff for our Daytona. A lot of them already said they would. So if they all come through, then yes, we should end up doing the same rallies we did last year. Tam was actually thinking, because there's a lot of things that we really wanted to do that with doing this, we don't really have a lot of time doing it. One is we wanted to do a ride along the coast of California. We invite anybody that wanted to go along with us. The advantage of the ride that we do along the coast of California, it's not like two-lane change. When two-lane change, which I don't watch other videos, so I'm not quite sure about all their rides, but I know it's more of the adventure of going and getting back. My adventures is all about going and stopping places and find the best chicken in the world. Go find, go see the Arkansas Grand Canyon. Go see whatever. I want to see something. To me, it's not. I enjoy riding, but it's not just like when people always say that to us that, oh, you have a trailer. We rode 22 with her too. She rode her own bike, over 2,200 miles to Sturgis. We rode up the coast of California. Took 6 days to get there because sometimes on the coast, you can't get over about 20 miles an hour on some of the roads that's up there. And rode from sun up to sundown every day. And when we got there, we were wore out. What did it prove? Absolutely nothing. So I rode 2,200 miles. There's guys that can ride 50,000 miles and never take a rest. There's these guys that went to Florida nonstop. They never slept at all. They drove straight there in 22 hours or whatever it was. They rode to Florida in 2,000 miles or whatever it was. Good for you. I'm happy for you. Me, I'm not looking to die, and I don't want to fall asleep. I don't want, I want to at least, that's why I always ask everybody, when you ride your bike to a rally, first, other than stopping for food, gas, and a place to sleep, what else are you doing? And everybody says the same thing. Nothing. So what did you prove? We've done the ride. I've rode that far. Now, I've never rode more than almost 2,300 miles. Never went that. That's the farthest we've ever rode in a long distance. But we were doing from when we rode from Southern California straight there, it's about 1,500 miles that I rode for. She never rode that route. She only rode the once. The other time she rode on the back of the bike with me, and 2 of the times we rode by ourselves, just us on the highway. First 2 times we went to Sturgis, nobody went with us. We had no idea what we were doing. We took longer than I thought because I booked hotels ahead of time, had no real plan on how many miles we could drive in a day. We knew we could drive 300 or 400 miles in a day, but we did that in a whole day. But we didn't, so I didn't know, with rain and things like that, to where one day we were done at noon. We had already had the hotel. Had booked everything ahead. And it's like, well, we could either lose the money for that hotel, then that's going to screw the rest of them up, where some of these, you got to give them a couple days notice to cancel them. So it's like, well, let's just stop at noon and, we'll get a start tomorrow morning and see how far we go. And some nights we got there, it was a little later. It was starting to get dark when we stopped. Because normally I like to stop around 4 or 5 when I travel. I like to be on the road by 7 a.m. and I like to be wherever we're going to by 4 or 5. Gives you time to calm down, rest, get something decent to eat versus eating a McDonald's or something fast food or at a gas station or whatever. But that's what we do. Let me see. Still gone. So let me go get up here before all the comments. We agree with everything you're saying. We thought it was just us. Happy birthday to Tam. We got to meet her walking through Throttle. He was waiting for you. We rode the hills together without traffic. Go. All right. Now, Pancho said, I forgot to tell Tam happy birthday. Just sent me messages saying only 345 sleeps till next year. There you go. He's already planning. Tim, okay. Just don't show up to a rally and get out of your RV with dirty cut-off jeans, pretending you rode the whole way, because real ones know you didn't, which is true. I know there's people that have gone to rallies and they stop out like at Badlands and they pull the bikes out. The wife drives the trailer and the guys ride their bikes all the way in. Now we do have some of our subscribers that we met. We actually met them after the rally. I think it was on the way home. And it was weird because the wife had shorts on. I'm thinking, why would she do that? Well, she was in the car and the two guys, which there were two girls, they drove in the car and the guys rode the bikes. So it's not bad to have a chase vehicle because you never know what's going to happen. So in that case, I believe the guys because they didn't have a trailer. So yes, I would. Noon means day drinking. There you go. That works too. You stop that early. Realize. This year at Sturgis and Yellowstone, I rode 1,076 miles in the 13th there. That's a good ride. Nothing wrong with that. Because a lot of us don't get to ride all the time. So it is tough. It's like us. I don't know if I could do a 500-mile ride in a day anymore because we haven't rode long distance for probably getting close to 20 years. 50 grand and a Harley don't make you a biker. That's true. Yep, you saw it. I roll in the dirt after my fight. Highway Hillians told you happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
A couple
Chris.
other people said it. Oh, how do you get back up?
You got to go to that little button down there.
It's
Right
fine.
there, yeah. And
I
roll
don't
up.
know. I don't know where because I couldn't get it to come back down. So for the
And they said we should do a steak challenge. And I said, that's out of our budget. Eating a steak every day, grocery stores, 1 hour parking, all those.
I had started from the bottom and worked
Okay.
my way. Not hard to put 400, 500 miles on a snowmobile in a day. That's what Amzol Adam. That's what he always says about Katie's. It's a snowmobile with wheels on it or something.
Yeah.
And but I mean,
Okay,
but I mean, there's people we know that used to come to the Laughlin River Run, and the wife would bring the car, and they'd all ride bikes, and all they ever did is park their bike in one parking spot because they wanted the good spots up front and never left. They drank the whole time and partied and never rode.
That's what I said. I'm like, well, did you guys go ride? And she's like, oh no, they got 2 good parking spots. They won't move. So she would have to load up the car with all the stuff because they took their bikes and suitcases and everything else. And then, yeah, and that was it. That's all they did. It was crazy.
It's hard to say.
They talking about going to a rally and not riding?
No, we were talking about crazy people riding the yellow line. Nobody really came back and said that's them.
Well, that's good.
But they were talking. I also talked about how we rode, and I always say that where when versus somebody that rode to a rally versus if you trailer the rally, what's the big difference? What are you gaining from that? And so, other than saying I've rode that, but see a lot of terms that like somebody else said, it doesn't necessarily make you buying a motorcycle doesn't make you a biker. Well, see, the problem nowadays is I would say there's a very, very, very small percentage of people that are actually bikers. To me, my thought of a biker would be back, thinking back in the day where the guy, that's always the transportation he has. He don't have anything else. He has a bike. He doesn't really, it's kind of like the old clubs. Like when we lived in California, we've seen a lot of that. We've seen a lot of the clubs, 1%ers and stuff that these guys had nothing. They were sleeping on picnic tables at night. They had blankets, and that's about it. And they just stopped wherever they wanted to when they were going to an event or whatever, and they just slept on the side of the roads. And so that, to me, I would say was the real biker. I think today we have more people that are enthusiasts. That people that about a motorcycle, how to ride a motorcycle. I'm not the fastest person in the world. I do pretty good on my curvy roads and stuff. Better when she's not on the bike than I do with her on the bike. But I mean, does that make me a better biker than somebody else? Maybe somebody else is just more careful. They don't want to speed. It's like people in a car. Just because some guy can do 90 miles an hour around a curve, where it said 35 miles an hour and a normal car could do, does that make him a race car driver? I wouldn't think so. But some of these guys that are probably professional motorcycle racers, those I probably would consider to be a real biker because it's their profession.
Mike says in the early 60s, parents didn't have a car. They had a BMW with a sidecar, and they put all 3 kids in the sidecar.
We seen that in, was it Daytona or something? We seen that had like 5 people
Yeah.
and like that has to be law. I think it was in Daytona. That's got to be against the law. Kids all had helmets on, but it's like, it's 2 or 3 on the bike and then 3 or 4 in the sidecar. And I'm like,
Being a
I don't know.
biker, that's how you ride. It's a lifestyle, and if you know who you
And because I can say I don't know if like I said, I've been riding a bike since I was 14 years old. I probably have somewhere between 300 and 500,000 miles I've probably rode since I was 14 years old. But I mean, I don't know. I never really kept track.
put it on, or it's riding.
Uh, but it's all about, nowadays it's different because the way traffic is, because people aren't paying attention in cars anymore. People are on their phone, people are putting their makeup on. Come to LA and ride in the traffic and you see it. People got laptops up on the steering wheel and they're doing their work at home
Their
or whatever they're
reports
doing.
or whatever they gotta do before they get to work.
It's just insane. Go split lanes and see how that works for you in LA. Now I can do that. I don't know if I can do it anymore, but I used to do it all the time. I used to ride from Corona, California to downtown LA to the gas tower, and I split lanes all the way there. Never got hit. I did knock a couple mirrors off cars from assholes. Don't know how to drive. But in a case like that, when you split lanes in California, it's the motorcycle's fault, even if the car cuts you off. You take full responsibility for splitting lanes in an accident. So you always had to be really aware. What I learned from doing splitting lanes, I learned to look in the side mirror because people would glance in the mirror before they move over. Very few just turn the wheel without ever looking. So I would see that most people will not look over their shoulder. They may not look at the mirror up in the top. So I would constantly look at both cars when I was going down and look. Now I'm not, in California, you're only allowed to go 15 miles over whatever the stop traffic is. Traffic stop, you're only supposed to be doing 15 miles an hour. If it's going 30 and it's 55, you could do 45, but you couldn't go more than 15 miles an hour. If the speed limit's 55, traffic's moving, you're not allowed to split because you keep speeding that. So a lot of people don't. You get the crotch rockets that are doing 80 miles an hour in parked cars, which come up behind us and scare the crap out of us when you're riding a bike. Best thing in California always was seemed to be I got really lucky a lot of times that I got to tuck in behind a policeman, a highway patrolman on a motorcycle. They'll let you come in right behind them, and when the cars get too close, they hit that siren and go woo, and the car pulls over really fast. So yeah, I have had a few that have helped me out when I used to do that. But I don't know, does that make me a biker because I didn't kill myself?
Says he was the first time to Sturgis at 750 miles in 13 hours. It was never.
Yeah. And it is. I think part of it is if you've never ridden to a rally or to a big event like that, you're going to be on the road for at least a day, then you really haven't experienced the life of being on a bike. We started out, we used to do, when we lived in California, we'd go out with our hog group on a Saturday and do a 300-mile ride, and that was just to go eat lunch and come back. So that's when we got to where we really got used to riding. The most we've ever rode is about 650 miles in one day, and she did that too. But to me, it wasn't always about being the fastest person there. I'm not looking to do
split lanes in Minnesota now.
I don't want to, I don't want a ticket. So I normally, especially going through Wyoming, there's times you're the only thing on the road on the 80.
We were doing like 90, went through Wyoming.
Well, that was different then, but normally I wouldn't. I'd be running about 5 to 8 miles over. Now, if there's a truck in front of me or a car, I can kind of sit back a little bit because they're going to hit the brakes, especially when you go over a hill. I do that when I drive my car or truck too. If I see somebody hit their brakes at the top of the hill, good chances there's a cop on the other side of that hill. So I'll slow back down to the speed limit. So you just never know.
Evidently. Straight 18 hours to get back in 6 hours. That's no fun.
Yeah.
Chip says he always liked going to Buffalo, oatmeal, donkeys. But going to lunch today on the Parkway, I know about here. There was about a dozen donkeys on the side of the road.
Big ones. Black and white ones. And you seen them all of a sudden because they were kind of in the little trees they plant alongside. People say they're always up there. I haven't seen them in a long time. Well, I've seen them up at night, but I've never seen them during the day like that. They say a lot of them will come down to the river to get water. I don't know.
All the way. stopped for gas. They call them the iron sock or iron butt
Yeah.
rides. But how many miles it is?
And there's people like that. We've got some friends that can drive, they can ride 1,000, 1,200 miles in a day. I've never had that. I never wanted to
Had
do
that
that.
ambition?
Yeah. I don't mind riding all day, but when the day's over, I'm done. I don't really at night. There's more things you can't control because you can't see stuff at night. And like I say,
When you got-
well, that or even when I was younger, I didn't want to do it. So it's like I'm not I get tired, I'm tired. It's same thing when we travel. With her ailments and stuff. Sometimes we even pull in a trailer. We do 250 miles, and that's the best she can get in a day. Days we can get 600 miles out. That's about the most we can get. This trip coming back, we did 2 days. First day was 500, next day was
Second
550.
day I was
And I'm not looking at it. Same thing. Now we're retired. We plan far enough ahead. If something did happen, we got time to get vehicles fixed and things like that. And that's what's tough when you're doing a ride, and your bike breaks down, you're halfway there and it's something major, you're screwed. You've lost the money that you paid unless you want to plan on staying in the state forest for free.
September 1st. High school.
Yeah.
Driving up for about Rams Road. Oh, I never saw them after that. Yep, Rams. We were talking about donkeys, so I get it now. Sorry. I was like, what Rams meant. I'm with
You thought the
you.
football team was out there.
No, they were. They were LA and St. Louis and LA again. Can't make up their mind. Tooling Tom says, Bob, I'm with you. I have nothing to prove by traveling in extreme miles in one day. I enjoy the journey to my destination. You want to make it enjoyable. Otherwise, you're miserable. So not since I've driven 850 miles coming home one time, but quit because I was ready for a steak and a beer or dark. There you go. Yeah, we did the 609 miles at one time because our youngest daughter said they were moving and I was going to be home before we left.
And we busted her butt to get home, and she was
They didn't move.
home in a day and a half.
Yep. I've did from door to door, Alaska to Sturgis, 29,920, yeah, almost 3,000 miles one way. Make it in 3.5 days when I started going 18 years ago, 70 plus now.
Long
Yeah.
riding. But see,
Stay
nowadays
free in
things
those
just
places.
aren't, there's more cops now. There's more people that want to write tickets. So, nowadays tickets
aliens?
can get really expensive. So there's a lot of money, that can be, you could spend a lot more money than,
I saw a lot of there was some pretty cool moon prizes, I guess. Is that what you call them when it comes up? 2 or 3 moons. There was really nice
during that while we were
sunsets.
out there was some full moon.
And then wanted to know if we saw any extraterrestrial. Was there supposed to be some that landed out there? Took 3 days to recover. I bet, Neil. Jerry says, happy birthday, Tam. Sorry I missed it. I'm slow. That's all right. Thank you, Jeff. My Uncle Caden, 3,500 miles down to Sun River. Wow. Well, who was that one kid that came up from Colombia and went all the way to the homecoming?
On an 883 Sportster.
South America.
I said, you needed
Colombia,
a medal.
South America.
You needed a medal just because you rode a Sportster that far, an 883. And it's just like,
and
oh
it survived.
Gosh, yeah. And it's like, and I can say I just like him. I gave him hands off. I took his picture. We put him on camera that year because it was like, wow, I can't believe, and there is people. We met a girl a couple years ago, one of the waitresses. She rode a Sportster from like, I don't know, New Mexico or someplace like that, Texas, something. She rode Sportster all the way. And she got mad because I said, do you have any breakdowns? Oh, you just jinxed me. My bike's going to break down on the way home. You never say that to a biker. Ever.
She says, problem. I did my hug desk. Guys. Ireland, Australia,
Canada.
It was a lot of Carol, that's happy 23rd birthday, Fender Kitten. 35. If it's possible to ride a bike from South America to North America, get it. Mexico, somehow the Panama Canal somehow or another.
There are
Yeah.
probably ways. They probably have a ferry or
ferry
something
or
that
something.
probably can take you across. I know you can drive there. I think you can drive down there. I think
$1
is it-
million Bogan or Bogan
yeah,
dollar guy.
one of those guys did.
Well, I think that the guy that took us around and showed us all of his houses, girlfriend, wife, she rode like from South America up here, but never had been on a motorcycle. Decided she wanted one, jumped on one, loved it, and drove all the way. I think it was America, all the way down to South America, and she had done it, and that crazy did it. You have to look up the route, but maybe there is a boat that takes you part of the way. I don't know.
Never done it. Never been down to Panama, so I have no idea how to get across. But probably have to get across
somehow or another. Yeah, I know you'd have to get where they're animal. I'm assuming that there's a way to get across a bridge or something. Going in and out on YouTube, probably because I sat back.
Yeah.
Close. Is that better? Now I feel like it's really up in my face. Where am I at? Go down here and go back up. So Rick says, that is the way I do enjoy. I do not know how to get fast from here to there. I don't want to ride with someone in Vegas in the chapter that rides way too fast. Yep. That's not fun either. My friend's brother rode a Sportster to Michigan to Washington, 2,500 miles when he was 16 years old. Worked on a ranch for the summer, and then he was drafted into Vietnam and killed. Oh, sorry to hear that, Mike. Yeah.
But when you're a lot younger, you do a lot more stupid things.
Yeah, you do. You don't. You're invincible, and you think you can do it
I
all.
used to jump off 2-story buildings. Now I can't hardly even climb up a ladder anymore.
Hogan did it. Yeah, I thought that guy did. He rode it all over too. You really have to take a ship to make it south of Panama. So he might have rode it up to that Panama area. I don't know. And then I don't know.
We didn't ask.
I didn't ask how he did it. He just said he did it. Itchy Boots did it from southern tip of South America and rode to Alaska. That's a long ride. Holy cow. And I knew there was quite a few people that I've heard that have done it. But like I said, I don't really know how. I had a 400-pound friend that came from Connecticut with that much gear strapped to an 883, 40 to Sturgis. No idea how he strapped himself and took to take it off nightly all the way. I know. Some people don't do it. They just leave all the stuff on their bike. Or it might be some of those guys that just pull off the side of the
We
road.
had a guy that was coming back from the Grand Canyon, and he didn't have enough luggage, so he had a big old Tupperware box behind him.
And he had it strapped on the back of his
strapped on, so he had a tour bike, touring. And somebody said, "Oh, what happened to him? Where'd he go?" He said his Tupperware box blew off. He's back picking up his stuff. We're like, "Are we supposed to wait for him?" He said, "No, he'll catch up with us tonight."
Well, you see that, you're driving down the road and all of a sudden you see all these clothes and shoes and somebody's suitcase fell off the roof and they have no idea.
Yep.
That's crazy. How long you been on?
I don't know. You gotta look at the one.
I think it's an hour, 40 minutes.
Hour 48.
Yes, on a boat. They have to ride, I guess.
There's always a way and a will.
Yep. If there's a will, there's a way. Puerto Bay, the south tip of South America.
So for Ocean City, we're not going to be getting there till Tuesday night. We don't know what time we'll show up, but so we really won't be out and about till Wednesday morning. Because by the time we get there on Tuesday, the time's all screwed up. So I don't know how we're going to get this ever.
That happened.
So because you have to fly into Baltimore and then drive in. To get
So
down
our
there.
plane doesn't land. Well, it lands like 3:30. So you figure at least 4:30 until you get your luggage and pick up the rental car, and then it's like a 3-hour drive. So I'm figuring we're going to probably have to stop and get something to eat. So I'm figuring we're not going to get to Ocean City until around 9:00.
And so then we won't really be available till tomorrow. Wednesday morning. And so we stay all the way through there. Sunday is when we go back. Or is it Monday?
Monday.
Monday. So we'll be there all day Sunday. Monday is when we go back to Baltimore and fly back out on Tuesday. So that's
Daytona
the plan
Dave
there.
says you need to stay home and get that chopper done for Daytona 2026.
I don't know. Gotta find somebody that's going to do the work now because
Yeah.
the guy that I had don't do it anymore.
Well, he's not with that company. We have
Yeah.
to try to find. And I asked several people, and they all just
They
said,
told you who it was. It's the people that own it now.
yeah, but I got a last name. I don't have anybody's first name. Bad thing, it leads to a lot of chapter rides. Oh, Rick says, yeah, the guy that he doesn't like to ride with because he goes too fast. Tam's mic is still cutting in and out. Well, I brought it closer. I know what to do. There. Now you can't see my face. Now you really can't see my face. What does Mike say? Same friend that rode from Florida to California in 63 on a 250cc Yamaha 2-stroke, riding double with her husband, and she's 5'10", and they had a lot of luggage strapped on. I have 2 photos that they rode to from Michigan to California. That's a long ride too. I remember when we rode that first time from Chicago to St. Louis, I thought I was going to die. Was on
It was
a
on a chain bike.
ooh,
750. A
yeah.
lot of vibration and a little rough. That's
Your
the
whole
longest-
body was numb.
Well, back then we didn't really ride that far. We'd ride to Chicago and back. It was like 100 miles up, 100 miles back. And then you
Or
stopped
to
a few
Indiana
times.
or Iowa, we would go. It was all 90 miles distances.
Yeah. So you're always stopping for a while, getting off the bike. Well, it wasn't until we moved to California and I got the Harley. Actually, I bought a Goldwing first, an old one. It was like an 86. I always wanted a Honda Interstate. I bought this older Goldwing when we first moved there. And I couldn't believe when we traded it in, I put 5,000 miles on the bike. I was like, I didn't really go anywhere with that bike. We drove 5,000 miles in 6 months.
Well, we would drive every other weekend whenever you were off, and we
Yeah, but
would
we didn't really
drive.
go that far.
Yeah, but it was 200 miles a weekend because we go
So-
90 miles up and
So
90
then when
miles
we
back.
got the Harley, then we joined the Hog Group, and the Hog Group we had there, they only had 2 rules: have fun and ride.
And have fun.
And so that's what we do every weekend. Had rides on and off, on and off. We've gone to Grand Canyon with them. We've done a bunch of different rides with them. Well, then I started doing my own rides, and we had a lot of people that went with us to do our rides that we were doing. Is I would do different rides than them. They were more. Our hog rides were more to a destination. It wasn't like we went to Grand Canyon. You didn't stop anywhere along the way other than at the hotel for one night. Other than that, that's all you did. Where with us, when I go, we stop. Like we do
Lots of hats on the side of the road.
We leave from like Malibu, Santa Monica, where we see the spinning thing. Leave from there. First stop's usually in Morro Bay. That's a cool place to have dinner and stuff at down there. And then get up early in the morning. We go up through Big Sur. Could stop there for a few minutes, kind of check out what's going on in Big Sur. And then you start riding up more. And a lot of little cool places to stop. There's one place where all the sea lions are all laying at. It's on this curve. Got a parking lot now. Originally they didn't. There was enough room to pull your bike off the side of the road. Bunch of cool lighthouses. I'm a lighthouse guy. I love checking out lighthouse stuff. Last time we stopped at the lighthouse, that's when we seen the orcas were out in the water. That's the first time we'd ever seen orcas out in the wild. And but it's just the things you see and do. You know, we stop at a beach it's all volcanic ash is what's on the term to sand. It's black beach. 2 black beaches. One black beach on the other side of Malibu. It's known for topless women and stuff like that. Nude. I don't know if it still is or not. But there's this other one's another black beach where you go down into it, and when you go out to the water, it's bigger rocks. But up at the sand, it's beat it so much that the sand has turned black, and it's volcanic ash is just dissolved, and it's really cool. And then there's another place you go. It's called Glass Beach, and then you go up to
Fort Bragg.
Fort Bragg's up there. There's a Eureka to go see all the Victorian houses stuff are up there. And also when we went the first time, we took the group, we stopped at the Winchester Mansion.
Hi, Rowan.
That's really a cool thing to do. I'd really like to go. If I went again, I'd like to do the behind the scenes.
Of what?
Winchester Mansion.
Oh, yeah.
That's really cool. That's really nice how nut that lady was. And
yeah, we saw a documentary on her one night, didn't we?
Yeah.
That we were watching. That was kind of.
And but it's all because some psychic told her that the Indians that had died had been shot by Winchester rifles were going to come back and get her if she ever stopped building onto her house. So the whole time she was alive after her husband died, And then at the end, you go through this room and it's got every Winchester rifle, every model that's ever been made. And that's another cool thing. I mean, it's just really cool. I really enjoyed that. I've only done it once, and it's almost 20 years ago I did that. But there's a whole lot of cool places to go along the way, check out. And that's what we do when we do a ride. It's about things to see along the way, not just saying, well, we drove to Oregon and turned around and drove right back. What did that prove? Missed out on all these great things. That's one of the problems I have when we do motorcycle rallies like this. I don't
We're always
have
on a
time.
mission.
I don't have time to stop. Like we had one time going through Mississippi, it had this road that said Bigfoot Museum. And I slowed down, I looked down, it was a skinny rock road. And I'm like, you know what my luck is? I get down there with a big old trailer, wouldn't be able to turn around. I'd have to back up 8 miles down the road. Could have been done, but it would have been a little slow. And didn't do it. And so there's a lot of places we drove by the Tail of the Dragon where we were only 50 miles from that. But I mean, to pull the trailer over, find a place to park it, pull the bike out, do all that. But we were on a mission because we had to get to Redlands Ranch for the rally coming up there. They were expecting us that day. So that's the problem that I've had now that I don't get to do. We do get a lot of fun seeing all the things while we're out at these rallies, but not on the way. We just don't have that time anymore. And that's the only thing that I miss versus but see, that's the problem. When you're looking to go to a rally, you have two things. One, it's on a mission to get there. And then when you're done with the rally, it's a mission to get home. And
you got to get back.
Yeah. And everybody's like that. You're tired. You want to get back. You want to get back to your bed. You want to be able to have a good night's sleep, whatever it is, have some real food. But you just don't make that decision. And so, going, which we have stop places. There's a town in Utah. It's called Beaver. And we drove through it this time, but we couldn't find the sign. There was a sign that said, "Welcome to Beaver." And
no, there was a beaver guy standing up. I remember.
I don't know. It's been too long ago to remember. That's 20 something years. Yeah,
no, we had stopped 20 years ago
and said, "Where else can you say we've been to the Beaver?" And took a picture out front. I think it was Art or by ourselves.
I think we were by ourselves. I think it was that first year we went up because we stopped a lot of places on the way up that year. I remember because that's where I got that one picture of I was by Smokey the Bear or something. Yeah. We went to
Well, I'm big into ghost town.
So it's supposed to be a ghost town in Colorado or
yeah, it was more Wyoming. Of a little mining thing. It had a store with stuff in it, but they had this giant stuffed bear out front. So she got a picture.
Our next adventure is going to be Ocean City is where we're headed. And we leave September 9th and fly in. We'll be there over that week.
Till Tuesday. Leave from there. We go back and visit our daughter for a couple of weeks. And then we go to
Bikes, Booze, and Barbecue.
We're driving there. So we're going to get there on Friday, the week before. So once again, I think we picked the bike up on Saturday. So the rest of the time we're going to be riding. We're going to do a lot of riding. If you're getting there early to Bikes, Booze, and Barbecue, I know a couple of people are. We've heard a few say
well, there's a few people that live in that area that's going to be there with us.
All right.
He can't move anymore either. Back in Deadwood till say, okay, Bruce. Yep, that's a lot. Back and forth. So where else do you go besides? Oh, you went to Cody and Yellowstone and did all that, Utah and Oregon. And back in Deadwood. That's a lot in 3 days. We have a beaver in Minnesota. How about that? This is Beaver, Utah. Stop listening, Beaver. Keep talking, Bob. I met Bob in Myrtle Beach. Tam was in Kansas at the time. Had a nice conversation with Bob at the Beaver Bar. Where in OC will you be on Friday and Saturday? Good question. I have no idea. But we really don't have a schedule planned. I just know one day we're riding up north and we're going to catch the ferry from Maryland to New Jersey. And then we're going to go into New Jersey there a little bit. And then I guess I'm assuming either ride the bike back or ride back to the ferry back. I don't know. Something like that. Don't know for sure. I just know that's the only thing for sure we're going to be doing. I removed that. Okay. I don't know what you removed, but thanks. Thanks for taking the message down. Something I must have missed. I don't know. Didn't see it. Thanks, guys.
So
again, I have a Beaver, Michigan too. It was funny. Did you put it up, Jeff? Anyway, so you're gonna wrap it up. You gonna tell everybody where everything is? What's the picture on the back of the door? Back of the door. I don't know which door he's talking about.
Behind you.
I don't know. I can't. That's a backdrop.
It's a glare that's coming off of it. I don't know why. It looks like it does. That goes outside.
I was going to do the countdown of our next couple rallies.
So that's what we're doing. So we've got Ocean City, like we leave here on the 9th out of Las Vegas. We'll be there that night as we get into Ocean City. We're staying at a condo right next door to the convention center. So almost every day you can find us at the convention center. We have to talk to Emory HVAC. He wants to do the ride. I don't know what day he's going to pick to do the ride. We don't have any concerts or anything like that. We do want to go. We'll check out the 2 big bars. The one bar, what's the first one called?
Secrets.
We'll go there during the day. At night, it was too crowded. We want to go down to the other one.
Fishtails.
Fishtails. We've never been there. We want to check that out again.
Again, we've never been there.
Well, that's what I meant. I will go again. We want to check that out. We seen the horses last year. We're not going down to that ride. I don't know what else we'll plan on doing if Emory HVAC, if he's got some other things.
An agenda for us.
Yeah. So he's kind of giving us the tour again of because we don't really know that area. And or that if Ryder X, I don't know if there's something exciting.
Yeah, he took us up to some of those. I know one of the
up the coast one.
Beach, Bethany Beach, and up in there. That was kind of neat. All those little beach towns, and we ate dinner or lunch up there. Yeah. And had a pickle shot at
Pickles.
Was it Pickles? Oh, I didn't remember the name of the bar.
You had a pickle shot. You had to have a pickle shot at Pickles.
There you go.
One drink for last year.
There's a Beaver, Alaska. Alaska AK? Yeah, Arkansas is AR on the Canadian border.
So then after that is where we'll be at Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue.
Dirt bar again with the midgets.
Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. It's actually 45 days from now, but we're going to be getting there the Friday before. We're going to do a lot of riding there. We're hoping it's going to be really good weather. And then we're going to wrap it up in Biktoberfest. We've got a video coming out. We were inviting everybody to come down and have one big party with us on that last rally for the year that we ended up in. So if you're anywhere near for Biktoberfest, we're going to be there the weekend before. Same thing. We're going to be getting in there on Thursday. So Thursday and Friday, we're going to be at the Speedway. We've got a hotel there for 2 nights. And then we go and stay with One Sexy Biker Chick for a couple days.
Cooper's is a good spot, he says.
I've heard of that. And then the next thing, then we'll be over at Teddy Morris's at the Claritin
there.
Ocean
City Hoopers?
And we stay 5 or 6 days with Teddy in their place. And then so
Pickles Pub. That's where we had a pickle shot.
Yeah.
Joe didn't like it.
He didn't like the pickle shot?
No. What kind of bike did Wyatt give away?
He didn't give a bike away.
No.
He's got a mini bike. That's what he got.
Well, somebody was asking about that bike that they gave away at the dealership. Crap on a Cracker was. They have picked the winner and they've called the winner. So if you haven't been called, you didn't win. They haven't released the name yet.
So what ended up happening with this is if you know Jesse James Dupree from Jackal, he's got a whole company now that is involved with doing these raffles and stuff where they put all the names in wherever you can scan the codes and all that data. So Jesse was actually in charge of all of that. So when we left on Tuesday, I had called and said, when do you think you're going to pull the name? They said, well, we've already talked to Jesse. We're waiting for him to get back with us with the name that's pulled. So depending on his concerts and him doing everything he's doing. So we're hoping that we thought we'd know by now. But
well, like I said, they have picked the winner. They just haven't disclosed it. So the winner, whoever the winner was, knows who they are. I was hoping it was one of you guys.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So it says winner is drawn, waiting for the legal declaration. Then we will announce it coming soon. That was the last message I got.
And so they're owned by Sonic now, so you know how legal things go. Want to do anything that's unlegal or because a lot of these raffles and stuff, you really got, like in YouTube's case, we have to write down all the rules ahead of time. And because if anybody comes back and complains, it's all got to be explained there. And we've still got to do something with the veteran bike, and we haven't set that up yet. I've got so many videos I need to get done before Sturgis is
I think you told me about that. Bayside Skillet, and there was something else. There was 2 restaurants they told me about. One was the big pink building. Was that the Skillet one? They said you got to go eat breakfast there. We went to Flappy Jack's or Happy Flappy or whatever.
One told us to leave.
Yep.
That was good.
It was. But
just know next time we got to keep asking for refills.
They don't want you to sit around and talk. They said,
well,
you see the line out there?
And we should have asked for more refills. And then we could have sat there and talked.
Bought something else. Anyway, yeah, they asked us to leave because we were done eating.
Well, because
and they had a big long line.
Yeah. So that's why you always, we've learned at restaurants that we don't really tell them when they come back and say, oh, you guys ready? You guys want anything else? Need a dessert or something? Then we've learned to say, we're going to think about it. We haven't made up our decision. Okay, I'll be back.
Yeah, and I got a birthday Sunday at Outback today, and they didn't even do the big hoopla thing. So I was like, I got a dessert and didn't have to get embarrassed. That's at Texas Roadhouse.
Kind of crap, wasn't much. It was a little bitty scoop with.
That's all we needed. Just something sweet. Sure at least it was cherry or strawberry. It wasn't raspberry because I'm not a raspberry person. I was expecting chocolate.
Yeah. Thought they would have asked.
Yeah, and then they came out with red on it, and that's
probably what they get from the bar.
Probably that's cherry syrup.
Yeah.
Grenadine is what they poured on top of it. Grenadine.
It might have been. Wouldn't surprise me.
It was good. For free, it was fine. Complain. It was just enough. That little sweetness. Wasn't chocolate, but I'm not going to complain. Happy Jack's not good, but prepare for a wait. Happy Jack's is not good, but prepare for a wait. Yeah, we got there. We didn't really have to wait very long.
Well, we got there pretty early in the morning. See, the idea with most of these rallies, you got to watch. Because when it gets to be about 9 and on, that's when it gets busy because everybody's been up all night. Get up there, between 7 and 8 o'clock, you pretty much get into a breakfast restaurant.
Which is hard for Joe because not that he stays out drinking all night, but he stays up late all night. He's a night owl, so
you don't go to bed till 2 in the morning.
He says it's a good breakfast spot in Ocean City. However, Happy Jack's is. She was. I think I saw her in Sturgis, and she was telling me there was 2 places, and I wrote them down. So I'll have to see. But she was telling me where they were.
We only eat 1 meal.
Yeah. If we'd go back to eating 3 meals a day, I would not like to see what I would weigh. So yeah, 1 meal a day, and we split that meal on top of that. So there you go. What's the dates for October Bike Week?
16th through the 19th.
Biktoberfest, yes. If that's what you're talking about.
But we're going to be there the Friday before.
I think it's the 9th. We're there the 9th through the 19th is when we're in Daytona.
Because most of these rallies, other than Ocean City, the last 2 were there at least 10 days.
My mom used to make me Shirley Temples, but that's all sugar now. Try not to eat sugar. It helps my body. Dang autofill. They write something you didn't want to write. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Happy birthday, Tam. Thanks for all your amazing content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, Shimeric. I don't know if I say that right. More. Thanks. Freeland says. Yep, we got to see a lot of you guys up there. Autofill. Jack's is good. Oh, okay. I thought you said it was not, but I guess what you meant. It autofilled it.
And a lot of that happens. It happens all the time on Facebook. And, if you don't go back in and correct it, the Facebook police come out after you, the grammar police, and have to tell you didn't write it right or this or that. And it's like, I really don't care at this point. And it's like, that's why I usually write. I said, I didn't know the grammar police were on duty. And social media, it's not, we're not writing an essay or we're not writing a book or we're not doing whatever. Yeah.
That's just, I thought that was.
So, yeah.
Yep. We're from Missouri. Spelling is not at all any part in my realm.
Well, you're dyslexic too.
Yes. That's probably why
I wanted her to be an accountant. Like once I started dating her, I'm like, you can't be an accountant. People's taxes and everything would be really screwed up.
But yeah, anyway. So but I always worked a cash register and my register was always perfect. So even though I would say the wrong amount, I would count back the right change and my drawer was always perfect, but I would say it wrong. I'd say it's $1.96 and it was $1.69. Or I'd say it was $24.32 and it was $42.30. whatever I just said. It was
Back when you
always,
had a machine where it didn't tell you what changed.
no, you had to count the change out yourself, but I was always correct. Like I said, my drawer was always perfect. Jeff says, laugh out loud. Now you know what's wrong with me. I knew you would do. Yep. All righty. So talk
Any
about
more questions?
the helmet. We need to sell some more tickets for the helmet. If you know anybody that might be interested in that smart helmet, that intelligent helmet, tell them to look up on our channel. $25 for a chance to win a $2,000 helmet. Those are pretty good odds, I think.
We don't have
And
a
it's-
whole lot of people.
And it's a donation. It's a 501(c), so you can take that off of your taxes. So even if you don't win the helmet, you still get to take that as a tax deduction, and it helps us get another bike for another vet.
So far, we don't have a dealer offering us a bike. Talked to them all, and so far nobody said, "Well, we'll give you your next bike."
They said they
We have
keep
to
their
buy
eye open. So yeah, so we need that money we're gonna get from the helmet raffle to have a little bit of money when we go to Mecum auction and hopefully buy a bike or two up there, depending on how much money we get. I would like to sell at least 200 tickets. That would get us $5,000. That would at least get us enough to buy one bike for sure. And if we get any more than that, we might be able to get an extra. Don't know, but that would be nice. Jeffy says, email me for a donation. Well, you'll have to email me. Do I have your email, Jeff? Here's our email. So if I don't have your email, I think I've got your last name.
Jump.
Yep. See if I got it. I don't know if it's the contact us one or if it's, I know Ryder X is going to be mad because I'm using the other one. So let me see. This one first. Yep, I do have it. Okay, Jeff. All right. I do have your email. That's good. I will do that. Bob does. Happy belated birthday, Tam. Great to see you guys in Sturgis. It's my birthday today, so you're not late at all.
Just late to the show.
Yep. So that was John. We got to see him anytime. All right. So no more questions, I guess. Ending.
I don't know where.
All right.
Oh, no. So at this, we got a video coming out tomorrow. Check that out. It's all about the Full Throttle Saloon. It's just on that. We got Michael Ballard talking twice through the video. The first one you might have heard a little bit before, but the last time he's going to talk, you never heard that conversation. We got that on Sunday before we left. And we're just giving you a timeline of what all they did from the time we got there till the first show started up. And we show you some of the crowds that were at some of the concerts there. So it's kind of interesting. I think it is about 45 minutes long. So it is a long video, but it does show you a lot of interesting things. And some of the things, most of it's me talking through most of it, telling you what they're doing, what we're seeing, what's happening. It took me like 5 hours. I believe some people watch it. Started at 6:30 in the morning, and I took some breaks in between, but it was like noon or 12:30 by the time I finally got about the longest video I've done in a long time, because I was going to just cut up the videos, and I ended up just going through all the files in order and took stuff off all those clips. Some of the stuff might be stuff you haven't seen.
It's on the Full Throttle Saloon, Neil. He said the commercial cut you off just as you announced your video for tomorrow. Full Throttle
Saloon. It's showing you behind the scenes of everything we filmed. We're the only YouTube channel that we're allowed in the construction area to film. So you see some stuff that you may not have seen from people just taking pictures. So some of it was on the videos over all this time. So if you didn't get to watch all the videos, this will give you a real good look at the Full Throttle Saloon. And then you can hear what Michael says at the end. Was it successful? Did he wish he didn't do it? Is he selling the place? He tells you all that towards the end of the video. A lot of great information there. Then We're doing another video on Tuesday. It's a short video. It's on Biktoberfest, trying to invite all of you down to join us for the last big hurrah motorcycle rallies for 2025. We'll have some fun. Maybe we'll do a big party at the Beaver Bar or something. See what all happened.
Oh, we need to call her.
We're going to
Call her. Sturgis is going to be huge next year. American birthday, 250 years old. Okay, I got to run. Have fun. All right, Merrick.
start looking. If you're interested in
Right.
Sturgis, you should start looking now and keep up with it. And make sure you get a good spot, get a hotel price when they're a little cheaper yet before they start raising it. Because a lot of them may be thinking it's an off year, which could be. But I'm thinking, a lot of people may end up wanting, they got enough activities.
They might come out early. Maybe a lot of people come out for the 4th of July. I know the Deep Rally, they're going to have 4th of July. So there's going to be a big crowd out during that time. So
there's the Buffalo Chip.
Chip says, please ride safe, everyone. Happy birthday, Tam. Everyone is home safe from the rally until this time next night. So thanks for watching. We appreciate all you guys. We love all you guys. And wouldn't be here without you guys. So there you go. How about that? Don't forget to support our sponsors. They're the ones that get us all these rallies to get you this great information. Tell them Bob and Tan sent you if you go to see them. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends so we can get some more subscribers and build up the channel a little bit. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for notifications. We'll see you guys on the next video. Rex says, good night, everybody. Take care. Mike says, Neil, hang in there. Yep, we're still praying for Neil. And Beth, I don't know if Beth's on or watching. She had knee surgery. Praying for her that she's getting better. William Tom says, stay safe. Again, happy birthday, Tam. Love y'all. Thank you so much. And Neil says, good night. And Jeffy says, Bucky needs to call me back. Are you trying to get him to sponsor us, Jeff? That would be nice. They need to. All right. So thanks a lot, guys. We love you all. You all take care. Be safe out there, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.